What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello everybody and welcome into the new finals, this time for Rainbow Six. I am Cairo and well, I am joined by a man, the myth, an absolute giant. Oh wait, you're down here. Dino, how's it going, mate?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, for the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland tournament. This is, of course, Rainbow Six Siege. This is, of course, the grand finals. We've got two great teams going up against each other today. Of course, Swansea versus Warwick. This is the game that we had on stream last week. So it's a bit of a rematch, bit of a grudge match between the two. And Cairo, I think this is going to be quite an interesting one.
Oh, it 100% will be. I mean, these are two teams that have been at the top within the UK and Ireland scene for I don't know how long. I mean, how many finals has Swansea reached? And over the past couple of years, it's been one of those teams, or a few of those teams that just always seem to be reappearing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, Swansea in particular have been at the top of the game for, I mean, at least the last 4 years. And we've got the bracket of the playoffs that we've had so far this season. You can see that Swansea, they just started in the upper bracket, never moved, and been a pretty easy ride for them. A 2-0 over Royal Bears, and then a 2-0, in fact, a 14-1 against Warwick Esports last week to get them here. Whereas Warwick's had a bit more of a difficult journey, having to go down and defeat the Tud Apes R6 to then get their way back up to the upper bracket finals.
Yeah, bit of a rematch here, and obviously with a best of five as well, do you know, maybe a little bit more of a weakness when it comes to Swansea's map pool. Maybe Warwick can try and exploit that. Obviously won't want to be repeating the mistakes of last time. Try and make up for that. So hopefully that's what I'm looking most forward to between these two. These like trying to kind of play with that veto a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw last week it was Border, one of the smallest maps in the pool, and then
Yeah.
Bank, one of the biggest maps in the pool. And on both of them, I mean, Swansea were just dominant. There was only one round that Warwick got on Border, and that was the first round of, or first or second round of their attacks. It was just one sided the whole way through otherwise. So hopefully today we'll see some map bans where Warwick are sort of able to take away something that Swansea really wants to play. Maybe we won't see Border,
Yeah.
maybe we won't see Bank. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to. Maybe Warwick wants to go to those maps because they've got recent footage of Swansea playing them.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they will have recent footage as well as that recent experiences and kind of set reactions to that. I think we'll see, well, I'm hoping that we'll see maybe an Oregon or Clubhouse quite early on, just on the sheer fact that both teams will be comfortable on that. I don't think Warwick will allow, I guess, a Border or kind of Bank because they can sometimes feel like outliers to what you're most comfortable on. And I think that if they kind of stick towards what is the most standardized. I mean, how many times have we seen Oregon and Club over the past like year, let alone 3 years? I think that's going to play in towards Warwick's hand more. But at the same time, that's what Swansea will be probably looking to ban away.
Yeah, I do believe we have the map picks ready so we can take a look and see what's going on. And in fact, map number 1 is going to be Border, followed by Clubhouse, and then Skyscraper, then closing out with Oregon and Bank should we get there. Now, because Swansea came in through the upper bracket, I believe they got to pick first. So they're obviously very comfortable about that Border play.
Oh, 100%. I mean, why shouldn't you be, especially with the way that they played in that upper bracket final? And then, I mean, map 2 makes sense. Clubhouse, I imagine that would be Warwick's pick, kind of playing into what I was talking about with the more standardised, the more, I guess, familiar grounds for Warwick. And then Skyscraper and Bank for Swansea makes it, well, obviously, Bank, we've already seen them play. It makes sense for a decider, but Skyscraper, a little ace up the sleeve, perhaps, Dino?
Yes, Skyscraper is a weird one. That's normally a map that teams play a bit of chicken with to see who's going to ban it out and, not letting it go through. So the fact that it's actually been picked here over something like a chalet to me
Yeah.
is really interesting. And it could be a little bit of a pocket strat up the sleeve. This is
Yeah.
sort of the last dance for the Swansea players. And a lot of it, like, those are the jokes that they come up with themselves. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, but they do have a lot riding on this. They have a lot to prove, so maybe they've gone right. We've worked really hard on our Skyscraper. We're going to bring it out and show the world what we can do and how good we are.
Yeah.
Or it could be a little bit of overconfidence. We do often see university teams in particular go, "Oh yeah, we know this really niche map," and then they just get absolutely demolished on it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's going to be. I think, like when you look towards those first 3 maps, I mean, I kind of favour Swansea going into it just because like, we've seen how they played on Border in the upper bracket final. You would expect them to also have that kind of same standardised picks. I mean, when it comes to the gunfights, they were still able to win them out. Never doesn't really matter in terms of outclassing your opponent's Clubhouse. Moving on to that, both teams should feel comfortable, but if you look at the 2 teams, it comes down to basics, and it's more about which team is better on this, or what team is better realistically, not just what team is better on Clubhouse. And I think Swansea might have that upper hand here. No offense to Warwick in that sense. And when you look at Skyscraper, that's going to be the big question mark I have for both teams.
Yeah. Skyscraper is definitely going to be the interesting one. I mean, based on what we saw last week, I think most people out there are going to be suggesting that it's going to be a 3-0 to Swansea. But, well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to get on into the game and see what happens. And we should be going in just a second. Swansea starting on defense. It is Border, and the operator bans are just about to begin. Do you expect we'll see anything particularly interesting? We did see Warwick go for the castle bans last time as sort of a misread, I think.
Do you know something? I wouldn't actually. I don't actually hate the castle bans, to be honest. Although looking towards the attack, yeah, not ban straight away off the board. Makes complete sense here in terms of what else could be done. Maybe Flores to kind of get on towards the shields, etc. Maybe even a hard breacher just to make things a little bit awkward. Do you know?
Yeah, maybe. And then We are
Oh.
going to see the Osa get banned out. Osa very strong, particularly that balcony area. You know, once you get open the box wall, if you've got an Osa shield set up there, that's just an incredibly powerful position to hold.
Leviosa. Oh, come on, die. You're better than that.
Is he?
You're better than that. Jeez. Okay, well, anyway, looking at the next band to come through, I mean, this is where we'd look at that Castle band to come in last place, but it was Warwick to ban that out last time. Swansea probably not going to go for it, probably looking to play that, especially with them starting on the defence, and it will be Valkyrie. Everything looking pretty much standard. I really like the Osa band coming out from Warwick straight away. I think that, like, obviously you're talking about the sheer balcony presence alone. I mean, the windows as well, even thinking towards east and what you can do, it just creates a lot of pressure and a lot of control just by placing those shields down, and the fact that you're forced to either clear them with some sort of explosive device. In terms of what we're starting out with, comps looking pretty much standardized across the board for the defense. Didn't quite get to catch the attack. Let's have a look.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Yeah, that's
as
not
they
too
can.
bad.
Yeah, pretty standard lineup coming through. It was the same operator bans coming through last week, other than Swansea choosing to ban out the Valkyrie instead of Warwick banning out the Castle. So we should, in theory, see quite a similar game. We're not seeing too much variation in the lineup from Swansea, although we did only see like 2-3 rounds from Swansea last time on the defense. So it is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, because previously Swansea were able to just use their aggression. They just challenged everything off the rip when it was on the defense. We saw spawn peaks, we saw people lying in doorways hoping for the best. I don't think we're going to see something as aggressive as that to start off. It'll have to take a few rounds before Swansea really start going at full speed at Warwick if things are all going in their favour.
Well, it's this initial information gain coming through from both teams, and it looks as if Warwick obviously wanted to approach the east side. There was a little bit of a prep being done by the Frost last time, so I guess Swansea have an idea, or at least have a thought process about how they're going to engage with what's coming their way already. The Azami looking to switch up their position and kind of look to already engage down the hall that faces towards east from 90.
Yeah, we're seeing very strong pressure from Warwick over towards the east side, going for this wall. The ace charges are going to detonate, but that is going to leave the sledge somewhat trapped up against that reinforcement. There's a lot of setup still coming through here from Swansea, looking over towards this office area. There's a good distribution of utility from Swansea. They've got presence out in towards CC, and then a lot to stop any of the other pushes that could potentially come through.
This mute that's playing in towards Fountain really could be isolated very, very quickly. There's a player just playing in towards the spot. I mean, the single panel wall, the Frost just swinging out here, and it's Matthew already having to break the hatch and drop out. There was no one there to catch them either, although there is the Sophia outside the window. Didn't quite see the outline, but, well, they'll certainly see the outline of the head as Flexi takes Matthews clean off. Good start here from Warwick. They only have a minute and 15 seconds left, and still so much to clear out.
But the second kill coming through from Secret, and another one from Secret is going to come through, and that's going to stack things very heavily in the favour of Warwick, as the Iana's wanting to stay aggressive in and around the office. Matty going for the peak as that mute just gets eliminated by Dr. Chickens, and now it's all left up to Marv to try and win this one in a 1 versus 5. 50 seconds to go, and that's a lot of time now for Warwick to work with, and they're not going to need all of it. It's a flawless round, and Secret getting the final kill there, and I mean, already a marked improvement from what we saw last time.
Yeah, it was a mark of improvement. On top of that, you've also got to consider the fact that everything that Warwick did, they just stayed patient. They just waited, and things kind of fell in towards their hands. Yes, they were putting pressure on key locations, pressure points, you could say, of the Swansea site. And I mean, the players were forced to swing out. For instance, it starts with a Frost, and then it's almost like a house of cards. You think towards what the setup was, I mean, a lot of it was realistically kind of pulled apart from losing that Frost.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly thrilled with the aggressive play from Matthew. Like, he was still able to play on that wall. He did have the hatch open, or the ability to open the hatch at any given moment. He didn't have to go for the swing. There was an ADS there to cover him.
Yeah.
In that situation, if you're the Frost, I'd probably recommend opening up the hatch when that wall gets opened, waiting for the util burn to come through, then going for the drop and being slower about your rotation to, again, try and invest more time and utility. But obviously, we didn't see it happen like that, and Warwick were able to capitalize off of it. I mean, Warwick made huge improvements based off of what they did last time, where they just went for that same kind of push, that same east push to try and open up the office wall. But they didn't have any of their checks going throughout the map, and Dai was able to exploit those gaps to then, I think, get an ace in the round to win it for them. So we saw improvement there from Warwick in terms of covering everything that could potentially go wrong.
I think as well, I mean, Swansea just... It was a lot of sitting and waiting, which I don't think was a bad thing with the setup that they had in terms of the shield, etc. But when the Frost dropping down, I mean, was an easy cut-off point. We didn't really see much in terms of the Azami testing through the corridor. We didn't see it happen off screen, but unfortunately that was the case. As we wait here, and Warwick are going to go quickly. It's the Monty stuck. Unfortunately, there is going to be a team kill there, and Swansea, unfortunately, are going to take the upper hand. Oh no, Warwick are falling apart.
Warwick are falling apart a little bit, but they do have the advantage here. It's a 3 versus 2. They still have upstairs control. The hatch is open, and Secret's got too many angles to cover. It's going to be Marv able to secure that kill, and now it's Blizzard left alone. 1 versus 3, upside down rappel. He's got to be concerned about all the potential pushes that could come, and the Azami keeper barriers are going to go up, and it's going to be Matty close range with the P90 to get that kill onto Blizzard. That's going to be the round going the way of Swansea.
Bomb defusing attempt failed.
Well, I think it's just unfortunate. The TK that comes through from the Monty, and on top of that, the Legion mine. The Monty couldn't extend the shield, had to get into a safe corner, and I mean, take out the Legion, or forced to be aggressive there. And when they were being aggressive, unfortunately, ended up with one of their teammates doing the damage. A one apiece. This is sometimes the problem when you funnel through these small corridors. Swansea just kind of got in towards a better position for the retake.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Warwick, you're there and you're thinking, right, there's only 2 people on site. We've got a Ying. We can flash. We can funnel through and get this play going. We can have the Monty basically stand in front of the window and win the round for us. But you need to have a broader understanding of everything that's going on. Don't have the Monty jump in first in that situation, because if there's any goo mines, you should know that there's a Legion around, and there could be frost mats and everything. Maybe, you know, wait for the Candelas to finish and don't step in front of your teammates before you jump in as well. Little things like that to really tighten up that kind of rush. But then at the same time,
10 seconds to go.
a rush on that site I never really liked, because you'll then pinned into some very tight positions to try and hold the retake. And you can see there how if they have that top floor presence, you've got so many angles to worry about that it's not really going to work out for you.
Yeah, it's the top floor site, the top floor aspect of it that really makes me dislike the rushes, especially on this site as well. I mean, we've seen how popularised the top floor hold can be, and oh my god. Well, Dai! Where are you going?
Does he have his headphones on?
Oh, Dai! No way! He's been completely messed up by the sound. I guarantee you there'll be a tweet about it later. Oh no, and it's falling apart. Now look at this, Warwick are completely toppled the top floor control. There is one player to find, and well, it's already been found out. Look at the blitz charging forward, the flash is going left, right and centre, and it is the Frost of Matthew that has to drop off once again, and they're being picked apart.
Yeah, the aggression coming through once again from Warwick, this time not losing any players, this time no team kills coming through. As it is now a 5 versus 2. A lot of damage dealt onto Solaris as Matthew was upstairs absolutely fighting for his life. And it's going to be Blizzard rotating into security to be able to secure that kill. And now it's just Spack left alone. The castle on site. 1 versus 5. He still has a bulletproof in pocket, but he's being thrown out as well with a Lion and a Blitz up against him.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this is unfortunate. You can't even see what's happening. Oh, there we go. Solaris finishes it off. Flawless run from. It feels as if the rounds are just going so blooming quick. Do you know, like we already have a decider by about at least 30 seconds into the round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is good pace coming through from Warwick.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first round that they won, they did take a little bit more time over. In fact, you were starting to get concerned about the amount of time they were taking. But the last two have just been pure aggression.
Yeah.
And that's something that we didn't really see last time. And it's obviously working out for them here. I think maybe they've sort of thrown a haymaker to start things off and caught Swansea rocking on their heels a little bit.
I mean, see, to be honest, I don't hate it, to be honest. The fact that Warwick have been able to look at their pace control and like say, hey, we can switch this up, we can play it with Swansea. And you've got to remember, Swansea will also be playing off the experiences last time and being like, oh, well, they're going for this East take, so we know that to do X, Y, and Z, etc. I think they'll be probably changing it up when we look towards this setup, though, because the kind of waiting around stuff didn't work out. And the fact that Dai is now on the solos, the drone hunting can commence.
10 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that I want to see change, though, is we're going to see Matthew play that Frost again in the same position, as Dai is going to be using his utility to great effect to get a drone off the board. But when Matthew inevitably gets forced out of his position and goes for the drop, he does still have that secondary shotgun and can open up the rotate from bathroom into armory. And that will give him a safe avenue out that won't put him in the line of sight of the Zephyr probably hanging around that storeroom window.
It's not only that, from that point you could go up main stairs, even reinforce 90 or do a retake in towards the east section of the map through the east side, or I should say, it's the east side balcony. So, I mean, Aurelio, it looks as if there's already going to be a retake coming through, and unfortunately they can't find the pick, but I definitely think they saw the shoulder there.
And Dai, well known for his antics around the break room, as now the shots are going to start to come on through, opening up his door, making it so he's a lot less comfortable about playing in that forward position. But Solaris, instead of sticking around, opening up the door and being a pressure, has decided to drop down and is going to be on the flank watch for the time being, as the rest of his teammates are going for the start of this east take. We hear the Selma charges beginning to detonate and the pressure from Warwick starting to mount.
Dai still holding on towards this section of the map, and Warwick will have to deal with it at one point, because if you leave it just open that little bit too longer, then Dai can just start to go on a window themselves, and maybe they're holding it in through the doorway. Oh no, they've not even broken the... I was about to say them, maybe broken the panel and kind of holding the balcony from that aspect, but they're not. They're just holding it with a drone, so there's going to be no immediate action from that aspect. Matty already dropping out. The control in towards office is gone, and well, there goes Matty as well.
The kills starting to come on through. Matty is only down. There is a potential that he can get picked back up, as that's going to be the case. He's actually quite deep, using the 1.5 on that MPX to great effect. Matthew was able to drop and get away safely. The nades are starting to come on through, as Warwick, with 50 seconds left to go, really putting all their eggs into this office take basket, as the Selma charges on that wall start to open up. The smoke close with the shotgun is going to be the first line of defense against this push.
One more toxic bait. That's one more. There are at least 10 seconds that can be bought for a certain area in terms of the denial, but it looks as if we are going to see Flanksy rotate out towards the vents, windows. Blizzard finds Marv. There goes OMI. That utility gone. Dai's also gone. So no more in terms of denying the electricity, but it's all about the gunfights. Who can win them out as the shotgun goes and starts blasting? They go completely wide. Matty somehow has found the knife as they go to rotate on towards main, but a 1 versus 4 clutch. All the, I guess, crossfires are going to be set up. You know, it's a hard ask.
5 seconds to go.
Diffuser is going to go down in time, so this round is going to extend, as that's going to be Secret to get the kill onto Matty. And Secret's been so pivotal to these takes. You know, getting those entry kills for his team has been absolutely massive, and we see the snowball effect coming through in these rounds, as Secret is up to 10 kills. Technically 11 if you include the team kill.
I mean, the man. Do you know what? Sometimes when you stick targets in front of your gunner, sometimes they can't just stop flicking. 3-1 up. Warwick already looking to take an advantage in towards the next half, and I guess when you look at Border, it's typically balanced on the half, usually. I mean, it's not the worst half in the world if they go for, I say not worst half, it's not the, like, kind of, how to put it, like, in terms of, like, it's a pretty decent half if Warwick go up 4-2 at the half-time mark. That's minimum, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Warwick are in the driver's seat here, and they do have the potential to walk away with a 5-1 half at this point, as they are going to be attacking onto the only site that they've lost so far. This is where they went for the rush. There was a team killed. The Monty had the goo mine. You know, it was a bit of a mess, let's be honest. But,
Yeah.
you know, Swansea were able to recover, and they used the Legion and the Azami to great effect to be able to secure the round. And looking at the operators coming through from Swansea, they're not choosing Legion, they're not choosing Azami. They're moving away from what worked for them before. Maybe there's more depth to the strategy going on, or maybe, and typically this is what happens when you see a dock pick coming through, someone's made the call, right, play what you're comfortable with. We need this utility as a minimum. Let's just try and get some kills going. Let's try and build some momentum, because no one from Swansea is really sort of logged onto the server, it feels like.
Yeah, it seems as if they're struggling, and I think it's more map control. Heads-up gunfights, I mean, it's just been Warwick in the way that they've used the utility. I think that it's been able to make things work. Matthew already, though. Oh, God, here we go. Die's already getting started. There's the first pick on the round. The entry being made has been drawn. Do they drop off, though? I don't think they do. I think they're just going to hold this fast, especially with the amount of support that's nearby.
Yeah, Die really has no reason to drop right now. He's put down all of his utility. He still has a nitro cell available, but he has to be cautious about this long angle being held from Flanksy. He is now starting to go for the rotate, and he sees the head and gets the kill onto the Zofia and makes his way back onto site. And once again, Warwick struggling in the early part of the round. Die getting, like, two very strong picks, and this is more what we were seeing last week from Swansea, and maybe this will continue. Maybe the momentum of this round is firmly in Swansea's favour.
Seems as if Blizzard's thinking about trying to enter in towards East in terms of the top floor. It's completely in Warwick's control, but do they know? Hopefully they do. You'd imagine so, especially with the drones that have made their way all the way through the floor. The 90 cam still being up, I think, just recently destroyed. So, God, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, nice nitro cell coming through. Probably based just off of the sound callers now. We've got Solaris and Dr. Chickens left alone. 2 versus 5 minutes to go. They have the top floor control, but they don't have the diffuser, and, well, they don't have any more EE1Ds, as Marv is going to peek up the metal stairs and get that kill onto Solaris, meaning that it's just Dr. Chickens left alone. 50 seconds on the clock, 1 versus 5. What can he do, as it's going to be Die working his way down the corridor towards him? He doesn't seem to be aware that Dr. Chickens has moved deeper into the office, so it's not going to be a flawless round here for Warwick, at least.
Oh, here we go, dropping through the hatch, and there is people behind, easily collected. Swansea only being able to win out on their, you would argue, tertiary site. I mean, some could say that the bathroom is the second best of all, all the sites, but I guess it's all up to preference here, do you know? I'm not going to get into that too much. Fencing Workshop going to be the next site where we saw the Warwick rush with the blitz coming through. Die decided to look away at the wrong moment, and yeah, I think realistically this should be easy to fix if you're a Swansea fan.
Yeah, I definitely think that kill onto Die at the start of the last time that they defended here, very unfortunate. I assume some sort of audio glitch that meant Die couldn't hear what was going on. But if he gets that kill onto that Amaru, you know, all the momentum is in Swansea's favour. They got that opening kill. They can trade things out from there. But more importantly, they're able to retain control of the top floor after they've had their setup sort of finished, which we didn't see from them before. Hopefully we'll see it from them this time.
It's not only that, though. Warwick would then have to chase the numbers back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would have to try and get that trade, which sometimes can be even more pressure in itself. The fact that we are going to see the castle obviously will help reinforce and, I guess, delay the rush just by that bit longer. Seems if we are going to get a bit of a cheeky one from Marvin. Oh, they're walking straight into it.
They did try to do this last week, so the drones are going to come on through and catch him, but he's still going to try and go for it, despite the drone being right in his face. doesn't get anything other than as far away from that doorway as he possibly can.
Nice cheeky little footholds being set up by Die, and it seems as if Warwick are still going to take their time, not giving anything away or too much away. I think that's oh, it's Marv actually from East. Die took a little bit of damage elsewhere on towards Flanksy. Dr. Chicken's aware of maybe main bulk as well. Look at this, Warwick are already a man down.
That's a beautiful bit of play coming through from Marv, knowing that the angle that people pre-fire through the door to destroy the cam, and then just following the traces back through to secure that kill. Beautiful bit of gunplay and map knowledge coming through there. And to be able to get away with it without being traded or sort of caught off afterwards is also very impressive, as we're going to see another sort of rush come through. This time, Blizzard just running on in and trying to go for the plant behind the desk. They can't really challenge onto it. They can't see the top of his head. Spack is going to be able to get that kill after the diffuser's gone down, but one of his teammates in Matty has been eliminated. And now it's a 4 versus 3 with all of the attackers playing defense from deep outside. It's going to be a real challenge for the players on Swansea to be able to overcome, as Flanksy is going to be able to secure the kill onto Die. The diffuser's starting to come on through, but it's Dr. Chicken's getting the double kill. Marv jumps on out, gets it down, gets the kill, but now it's a 1 versus 2, 20 seconds to go. Flanksy is on low HP, but with the line of Solaris outside the door and one more EE1D in pocket, this is almost an impossible task, and the time is just running out. He gets the kill onto one, but Solaris had gone for the wraparound, and that's Warwick getting a 4-2 attacking half under their belt on border.
I mean, nearly just making it a little bit, I don't know how you put it, like a little bit scary there. Swansea almost winning the round out. Warwick, though, 4-2. I mean, you'd think just when that Habana goes for the rush play or tries to go for a quick plant attempt, that Swansea would have enough spam, enough realization, I mean, enough experience on the roster to spam the right spots, get into position, but no, just able to get it down on that post plant with all the utility that was there, just ended up working out. A nice heads up play from Warwick, and I did say at the very minimum it will be 4-2, which is the case. Swansea, though, now it's a question of what can you do on the attack.
I mean, there's been a little bit of back and forth going on in the chat so far today. We've not really drawn attention to it, but Ty has just put an absolute zinger in the chat that I can't get over. He just asked Warwick, how many defenses did they win last time? And ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't here, let me tell you, it was 0. So if we see a repeat of that coming through, then this is still very much Swansea's game to win. And I like that confidence. That confidence comes with experience. Obviously, Dai is an incredibly experienced player, you know, inside and outside of the university scene. So he's going to have that confidence regardless. But the guys over on Warwick, less experience, less confidence. They've sort of been in the uni scene for a while, but haven't had vast amounts of success. So, yeah, I'm still betting on Swansea for this one as a series as a whole, but this map does feel very much in the favour of Warwick.
I think it's a kind of, we say that they've not had much success. Well, there's a little bit of success there in terms of secret, but I guess like that's only when it comes to champions. When you think towards the success they've had, how many times have we seen them in a final? Do you know, like, you know what I mean? The amount of times that they reached there and were always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Finally, they got rid of that curse. I think it was 2 years ago when they won out NSC or something like that.
I think so. I'm going to agree with you on that. But yeah, Warwick have consistently been near the top. Swansea have consistently been at the top. So if Warwick are able to win this finals out, it will be a bit of passing of the baton over to the next team. As you see this attack coming through from Swansea, they get that opening kill and they've not really been too aggressive with it since then. Just lots of droning and intel and trying to find out where the play is going to come from, as Dai is downstairs with those nades. This one player is playing on that single wall in office, could potentially try and throw another one up, but it's going to be Dr. Chickens actually lining the shot through the hatch to secure the kill, and then going for the drop. The Nitro Cell is going to go on up and get the kill onto Matty. What a play coming through from Dr. Chickens there.
It's massive puts Warwick in a real good spot. The only thing is, though, the only person not in a real good spot is this Frost. Look at it, isolated. Not going to be looking very good, especially if you swing out and there's a couple of guns facing your way. That is the case, though, as we do see, oh no, somehow winning out the fight. Even bigger advantage this time, and it gets worse because a player in Africa just holding a long angle. The knee's not quite hitting either. Now Swansea start to panic. Now they have to somehow do something, but you can't force the issue against a firing line. Solaris picks up Marv, one player left. Spack, what do you think you can do?
I don't think he can get much done here. He is going to try and take up the positions previously held by his teammates, but with 30 seconds left to go, no Selmas in pockets, can't open up any additional angles for him. And Warwick are just playing this one very safely, going to wait for him to push into them. And this is a nasty little crossfire that they've got set up. The swing coming through from Solaris isn't going to find anything as he starts to push on in. The shots are going to come through from behind. It's going to be Blizzard deep inside of Africa able to secure that kill. And yeah, Warwick already winning 100% more defenses than they did last time.
Oh no, we're getting a timeout coming in from Swansea, and realistically things have not been going well. The momentum firmly in Warwick's hand, and especially after that attack, I'm not saying it just didn't hit as hard as what it should. It wasn't punchy, the control wasn't there. Swansea just realistically went towards east, and when you try to engage on the long angle, etc., they struggled so hard. You know, the crossfires set up by Warwick just created so much, I guess, kind of trouble. I mean, you think towards the kind of the direction and dropping off, and the fact that the C4 is able to come up and Dr. Chicken is able to get two there should never have happened, should never been a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, the play that we saw coming through from Swansea in that round was they're going to try and take the middle floor, the ground floor, and then do what they can from there, then open up through office and go for the play. But they only had Die really bringing nades and going down below. He had to use one nade to open up the hatch because that wasn't open by default. And then there were two ADSs blocking the next nade going on through. No one was there to support with utility. And because no pressure was being directly applied onto that player behind the single wall, they weren't already opening up the office triple and then that office single wall. They were able to just easily take that gunfight, knowing that the next action Die is going to be doing is standing below with a grenade in its hand. Like, there's not that level of support and that level of sort of team play and timing that we typically see from Swansea coming through. They're playing it loose, but it's way too loose this time.
Yeah. It's almost, Swansea almost are like the last dance in this moment. It's like the first couple of games of the championship game. Michael Jordan had a cold. Scottie Pippen wasn't playing to maybe Matty Pippen. That's what we can start calling him for the rest of the game.
I mean, I will admit that they won the game where Michael had a flu. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean,
and they won the game where Scotty was injured. So
that's true. That's true. But I'm just trying to draw some comparisons. You know, I'm trying to make it work. Maybe it'll be like a comeback story.
Potentially, we've still got a bit of time left in this game. At least 2 more rounds have to go the way of Warwick before they will get the victory here, which does give Swansea a little bit of breathing room. I think that timeout maybe came a little bit too late for my liking, but, you know, once again, Marv is going to be able to get that opening kill, goes for the aggressive play, this time on the top floor, is able to eliminate the Oryx. That roaming potential has greatly been reduced already, but now, these last 2 minutes, we're going to need to see Swansea move with a bit of purpose.
Yeah, you got to think here as well. I mean, Swansea just slowly starting to wait to see the reactions after the first pick. Not wanting to over-aggress too much, not wanting to give too much away. That was a little bit of damage on towards Solaris. Maybe that was in terms of spam, unknown. The drone's trying to get that information, but on terms of East, they've not got the information, and that was a dry swing, almost giving up their life. Die, fortunately enough for him, is able to get away, drops down below, maybe looking to cut off here. Look at the aggression coming through. The Frost doesn't even know. It just seems as if Swansea now are starting to hit that next gear.
Yeah, starting to find a little bit of pace, and a little bit more cohesion coming through that timeout, really starting to pull them together. It is a 5 versus 3. There's a minute and 5 seconds left to go. The nades coming through onto site to try and clear out these angles. Solaris is going to be safe for the time being. We do have one player from Warwick on a long roam. It's Dr. Chickens all the way out over inside of security as the hatches and everything up above is starting to get open, and the pressure onto the site players is going to start to mount. And there's Die getting the kill onto Solaris, giving Marv the space to drop into the site. Now it's a 2 versus 5 with 40 seconds left to go. Dr. Chickens potentially going to get one here as the gunfight goes between him and the Nomad, but he's not looking too good for it.
Not too healthy at all, although look at this, Blizzard just knows. Oh, what a pick. That's massive. In terms of what's going on, though, the site's firmly in towards Swansea's hand. Just use that control to get the trade back, and Dr. Chickens now needs to make the play of his life, especially when there's Overwatch positions from above. The Nomad gives up the life for the information, and as I now see Dr. Chickens just a little bit hesitant to move any further forward. That health so low, it could take as a sneeze from one of these players. The logic bomb going off as well means that they have to over-aggress, find something, only seeing shoulders, only seeing glimpses, and there's even drones to ping out the location of the Mozzie. Marv will finish it off, and well, Swansea able to win the round out after that timeout.
Even Flanks is going to say good round, boys, coming through. Definitely a change from Warwick. Like I say, the cohesion, the coordination that we're used to seeing from them, definitely much more on point in that round. The explosiveness of the take, you know, they went in as a duo upstairs, Marv got the kill, and then they cleared things out systematically, people always in a position to pinch and to help and to secure the kills. And like I say, that's what we expect to see from Swansea. And Warwick didn't really have much of a say in that round because of it. Can Swansea, though, do it for 4 more rounds before Warwick get 2? That's the big question.
I mean, realistically, you think towards this, Swansea win more rounds and the pressure is truly on. You're within touching distance. I mean, you can then equal the scoreline. I don't think things are too far when it comes towards this. Swansea, though, again, I really like the approach. See that approach of just kind of waiting to see the reaction of your opposite team. I don't like the fact that Dai almost gave up a freebie there, but we can talk about the kind of minor and micro mistakes at a later time. In terms of what Warwick are looking to do with this upstairs hold, they might be a little late in getting back towards that site.
Oh no. They've given over a drone to the Mozzie here. Dr. Chickens is going to be able to get that one set up in a very strong position. This is the typical spot that you see attackers try to get their drones into, as it gives you good oversight of the top floor, which has typically been where Swansea have made their pushes from, as we are going to see this time Matthew work his way on into CCTV and start trying to put a bit of pressure on from that direction, as Swansea, like I say, once more going for their standard top floor take, which is just basically what you see everyone do on this map these days.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because of how much control the top floor can give towards the whole map. And I mean, you think towards where all the pre-placed zones that Swansea already have. I mean, they've already cleared out the majority of it, and probably are going to hear the 2 roamers that are up there. The Mozzie, though, maybe just giving away a little bit of information, a little couple of nuggets that, hey, these guys are looking to come through, and they are seeing the Dokkaebi wanting to come in through main. This is looking like a C4 angle, Dino.
Definitely huge potential here for the C4 from Dr. Chickens. The drone is going to be providing intel. It's going to go for the place and might go for a place and then wait for it to come through, but no, just knows where Matthew is going to be able to get that kill. That's the Nomad off the board. Let's hope he had enough of those air jabs down, as the players that were on the top floor have been able to successfully drop aside from one. It's going to be Solaris still hanging around upstairs trying to delay as much time as possible, but it's just going to get traded out. Now, it is a minute and 15 to go. It is a 4 versus 4. The advantage here is definitely in the side of the defenders, but we've seen how efficient Swansea can be when it comes to the closing execute on this site.
I mean, see, to be honest, with a minute left, you don't panic just yet. I'd probably see hitting that 30-second mark was when maybe the panic starts to set in. Look at those angles set up all the way in towards bathroom and in towards tellers. That's where the issues are going to come in from, is that control. And especially with the fact there is still one player in tellers just lurking about and looking to play upset. I believe that is Blizzard just holding that. And this is where we are going to see the kind of issues come through. Look, Sif Swansea just taking their time, waiting for that moment to drop, and the 30-second mark has been hit, and they need to get on towards this site quickly. They are going to do so, and remember, they've not dealt with Blizzard, and they can easily go for this spam again. No, they're not going to get the opportunity to, as we see the logic bomb ring off. I thought it was a different site completely, to be honest, but never mind. It looks as if that clock is going to begin, and so is the gunfire.
Yeah, the angle's being held by Swansea, just waiting for these peaks to come through from Warwick. One by one, they all fall, and once again, it's Dr. Chicken's left alone, and he doesn't even get one this time around. Dai going on the flank up the east stairs, aware that the rotations could have come through, and is gonna be able to secure that kill. And that was just a beautifully efficient close coming through from Swansea. They saw the space. They were aware of where all of these Warwick players were, and that there was that angle to drop and go for the plant. They went for it, and then as Warwick came on through, they just walked straight into people ready and waiting to shoot them. Beautiful turnaround.
I think, I actually thought that site was vents, by the way, because of where the Mozzie was positioned. I was just like, I think it was either the Mozzie, it was someone positioned in vents, and I was like, surely not. Like, is that seriously where they are? In my head, I don't know why, but that's why I was worried about the drop in towards bathroom. Like, are they gonna do it? Like, they need to do it quickly, or they're not gonna go into site. But it was also the fact that, like, with even those angles created, you couldn't like kind of manipulate it to deny the plan. It seemed as if Warwick were just a little bit late to the reaction. I could say like 2 or 3 seconds behind. I don't know if you agreed, but I swear that I was kind of watching. I was like, oh, not so great.
Yeah, when the drop came through, you would typically expect that to be the reaction, but I don't know if there was something obfuscating the sound, because there was a smoke thrown at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe they the sounds, they're just throwing the smoke down, and one person's maybe dropped. This isn't the full execute. But then, at the same time, if you're gonna vacate bathroom entirely, you need to have some form of intel going on, and someone who can react quickly to what's happening, even if it's just throwing nitro through. But we didn't have that come through from Warwick. Swansea were able to capitalize and win the round, and now, like you say, starting to enter the danger zone. The pressure on Warwick mounting as Swansea making a successful comeback here. 4-5, one more round, and it's even scores with Swansea with all the momentum to then take the lead.
Kenny Logan's getting his royalties once again, as Danger Zone is mentioned for a second time this cast, and probably will be mentioned even more so. It seems this, I think this is where, this is almost Warwick's last stand for an overtime, in my opinion, because if this site falls, it is really going to start to be momentum in Swansea's hands, especially when you look towards what's happening down here. A little bit of another lurker. It seems as if we are going to see a lot of this from Warwick, as they dedicate at least one of their manpower towards it. Gonna leave site a little bit, I'm not gonna say too weak, but there is definitely gonna be a couple of holes you could maybe poke a sword into, almost like Kerplunk.
Never played Kerplunk.
What?
I'm sorry. But as it is, we see Marv once again being that aggressive sort of entry coming through, but it's going to be Dai to get the opening kill this time around. The Roma downstairs not having enough of an impact, so that's going to be a perfectly timed and positioned nade to get the kill onto Solaris. Secret is still going to be downstairs, trapped in the doorway by that E1D, but isn't pushing it, isn't getting aggressive, is waiting for the players of Swansea to come to him. And, well, Dai's doing the exact same, but waiting for Warwick to come to him.
Again, remember, look at this time. Look at how much that Swansea are willing to just wait and play patient. 45 seconds now, I mean, this execute, you're realistically looking at pressing that go button, but switching the ignition on. Yeah,
we're going to have Secret there get the kill onto Matty as He's working his way downstairs. Die in a game of cat and mouse. He's got 2 people nearby. He's aware that angles have been opened up as kills are starting to go down throughout the rest of the map. Flanksy is going to be able to secure the kill onto Matthew as Marv is on just the smallest amount of HP, but Marv is going to be able to secure the kill onto Secret. The peak coming on through from the Frost inside of the site gets absolutely annihilated, and now it's just Dr. Chickens. He detonates the Nitro Cell, but no one is going to get caught off by it, and now it's a 3 versus 1. Diffuser is planted successfully upstairs, and Dr. Chickens with one of the most difficult retakes.
SMG-11. It's probably the most clutch weapon in all of Siege. We've seen it clutch up so many times, and as they move up towards metal stairs, the spam coming out. I mean, realistically, you're looking for 1v1s being sent forward, but well, you're gifted 1v1. I mean, it's just going to be punishment after that. There is going to be a timeout taken here by Warwick as they allow Swansea to get on towards even, and there seems to be a little bit of BM in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Swansea, I came through and said how many defenses did you win last time, and you know, you see the 3 rounds there for Swansea. You can see that confidence has paid off. I think the big thing for me from the side of Warwick is during those first sort of 4 rounds, Secret was absolutely huge. I think he had 10 kills by the 3-1, 3-2 split. And since then, he's only gotten 1 kill, and that 1 kill came in that last round. Obviously, the rest of the players on Warwick have stepped up and kept it close. But Secret was such a driving force throughout those early rounds that to have him really not be there is obviously impacting Warwick's lineup. And on the other side, you see Marv was really struggling at the start of the game. He's come through and absolutely excelled since then.
We were also talking about Matty Pippin being injured and Dai maybe having a cold, and you also like to remind me that they did win that game. Do you know they are looking to, if they get 1 more round, they would be officially winning the game. That is also something to think about.
I was having a drink as you re-referenced the last dance there, caught me off guard. I almost had an energy drink going all over my microphone, which wouldn't have been pleasant for anyone, but like you say, 1 more round and Swansea could potentially be in the lead. A note, we've only seen Warwick lead or a tie so far in this game, so if Swansea are able to come through and get this round and get the advantage, that would be really quite an impressive comeback to pull off, as we are going to see the stash get brought out from Matty. Spack switching on over to the Ace, Matthew on the Ash, Dai going back onto the sledge as per usual, and Marv on the Iana. A very aggressive lineup, I feel, coming through.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I think the Thatcher is going to be really good for kind of getting rid of these ADSs. Warwick, though, now if you think towards what they've got, I mean, in terms of those electrical devices, there's not too much. Honestly, maybe you could dismantle the Warden's kind of glasses, realistically, and maybe the mute jammers. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to be massively impactful, if I'm being honest. You know, let's pick up the rest of them, though. I mean, you look towards Spack, I mean, Matthew, Dai, Marv, having 2 sets of nades, it could be good, and I think that's what they'll need, especially when you think towards what Warwick have with that Zami, etc.
Yeah, I think part of it was probably to try and go for the play onto that player on the single office wall. You EMP it, you get rid of the ADSs and the mute jammers, you can start opening things up. The 2 nades can come through quite quickly after that. But we're not even seeing any ADSs this time because Warwick haven't even brought a Jaeger. So, like you say, this could be a little bit of overkill coming through from Swansea, but better to be safe than sorry for them in this instance, as they are successfully going to get those walls open and have a decent amount of office control. But, I mean, half the round has gone and really nothing much has happened.
I guess the biggest thing would be the fact that the east wall has been opened, the information slightly gained, Solaris still being a big piece to the puzzle, the fact that they're able to hold this down and the Zami barricade supporting them in that aspect. I think if you can't get rid of Zami here, then things could begin to topple. The nade not quite hitting, there is that hatch already prepped to get out. That nade never hit too hard there.
No one's sitting on the window to cover for the push coming through. Dr. Chickens is going to be able to lie down here for the time being. It's going to go for the play. Gets the kill onto Spack. Going to be unsure if that Selma got thrown out successfully, but Die is going to be good for the kill onto Dr. Chickens in response. Flanksy takes down Matthew as Matty is working his way into office, and the spam through the wall gets the kill onto Secret. Somehow this has gone from a 5-5 to a 3-2 as Die with the nade is going to be good for one onto Flanksy. The follow-up nade deals a lot of damage onto Blizzard, and now Die can start working his way up these main stairs. Both these two remaining Warwick players are on site. Solaris close on the door, waiting for a sound cue to come through, but Die taking his time, waiting for his teammates to get into position before he does anything.
Yeah, we need to see these last two remaining attackers towards the east side actually start to look up, hook up, potentially even get together, because they need to be able to trade out each other, and they've missed out on a massive one. It's went to a 2 versus 1, time ticking down. Need to get aggressive. One player to find out towards me, but Matty's ran away, ran in the wrong direction, and Warwick have found finally on towards map point.
Yeah, they went for the aggressive play, pushing on in, trying to go deep. I think maybe if they'd just gone behind the desk inside of office and gone for the plant while there was cover coming through, that maybe would have been the safer bet to go for, but this is Swansea. The call is always going to be go for the play, go for the push, see if you can get the kills, and we'll hold the retake after that. I mean, a great little play by Solaris being in an off angle. I probably wasn't expecting anyone to be quite that close to him as he was going for the play there. So Warwick, again, keeping the lead, making sure that they never go behind so far here. Swansea are either going to have to force overtime, or it's going to be Warwick successfully getting map number 1 and redeeming themselves after last week.
It does seem to be the redemption story. It's kind of, we were talking about how the kind of top floor site was the last bastion almost for Warwick. If they couldn't win it out, at least I don't mean like it was. I said that if they can't win it out, kind of like at all, then they would be looking to lose out the map. They finally won it in the kind of second attempt after losing. So now looking towards this site, I think we could be looking at overtime. Dino, if I'm being honest, this event site is going to be all about the top floor control. If whoever wins that kind of battle on the top floor will, I think, win out this round.
Yeah, Vents is, like you say, all about the top floor. In fact, most of this map is all about the top floor. We are going to see Die open up an angle in towards jail. Is going to have a sledge and a buck coming through, so definitely a lot of top floor presence seeking to be got by Swansea. As Marv, once again, he gets the opening kill. He's up to 15 now, and I feel like at least half of those have been opening cracks.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd be interested to know what the opening KD's like, and so you're just giving Marv a little love tap there, a love peppering, I guess, perhaps, with the amount of lead that's been put in towards him. There is obviously now the rest of the players starting to look and just poke, kind of see what they can find, see if there's any reaction. It's almost like having like a really massive beehive, and you just keep tapping it to see if anything stings you back. And well, Marv is going to find that sting back because Flanksy will find them.
Nice shot coming through from Flanksy there. Beautiful angle being held from inside of office to catch him off guard there. As do have, I believe that's Matty from Swansea inside of archives, waiting for a potential push to come on through. There is one more upstairs to challenge onto him. It's a very exposed position for this Dekebi to be in. That DMR is really not the weapon that you want to be using if you're having to face lots of engagements, but Flanksy isn't coming over to support his teammate, is playing by himself to try and gain as many kills as possible and catch people off guard, but it's gonna make things a lot more difficult as two of his teammates go down in quick succession, and this has now gone into a 4 versus 2, now a 4 versus 1, and it's just Flanksy. He's gonna be able to get the kill onto Spack, but he's given up his position. He's gonna follow up with a kill onto Matthew. 2 versus 1. This is doable. The diffuser is down. This absolutely could happen. The Dekebi call is going to come on through. Flanks is going to be making a lot of noise. He can't get on his phone to turn it off, but that means the diffuser has been recovered. We're going to see Matty just run far away to make his way around to go for the plant inside of the site. Die is going to be there to support. We all know how good Die is in these engagements.
Attackers are activating the
With the diffuser down, all the advantage is there for Swansea. The push coming on through, and it's, of course, it's Die holding the angle, forces this map to overtime, and Swansea won't go down without a fight.
I'd say I think it would be overtime, and it would all depend upon that top floor fight. Already we could see just a chance for Warwick to kind of stop that overtime, but no. So now we head in towards that spot. Swansea now starting on the defence, which was the worst of the two. Warwick's best side as well. I mean, Bathroom Teller's a starting point. I think this is the only site that Swansea was able to win consistently, so it's no kind of no matter or no surprise that we're actually seeing this site being picked first.
Yeah, not ideal for whichever team started out on the defense here, as this has been an incredibly attacker-sided game so far. But like you say, this is the one site where Swansea was able to consistently find success. They're going to be bringing out the Malusi to give them some intel if they do go for that rush again. And a rather similar looking setup coming through. Once again, going to be extending a lot of presence into that top floor. Try and slow down Warwick as much as possible, as the Oryx has been getting really quite a lot of play here on Border today.
I think Oryx in general in the meta has just been getting a lot of play. I mean, you think towards like Spoit was notoriously, what was it, Oryx kind of Ayana player. Like you can think towards, I think Doki's. There's now been specified Oryx players now, which is mental to think. When a year or two ago you would have been called a troll for picking up the Oryx.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any map with a lot of hatches is gonna be good, but yeah. Oryx at the moment he still has that T95 with the 1.5, so an incredibly versatile weapon, low recoil, high damage, high rate of fire, very strong coming through. As Blanksy was spawn killed, not entirely sure where that was, but great job coming through from Swansea to get the opening kill before anything really happens.
Oh no, look at that angle. That was horrible, 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 horrible. Even being able to peer through the bottom of that barricade as well. No, it was just a slow approach coming through from Warwick to peek it. And as we now see the drones look to clear out the rest of the site. And I don't think we've actually seen Warwick identify the site completely just yet. And I think they are just struggling to kind of get things going.
Now the Buck's going to come on through, but that means the Nitro Cell comes out in response. Doesn't land, doesn't deal any damage. Secret is going to be okay for the time being, but Die with a second Nitro Cell is going to catch him out. And Swansea, despite being put on the less favorable side to start off the overtime, are really making the most out of it with two quick kills coming through to make this a 5 versus 3 almost immediately.
Yep, Dyko, Jordan coming through.
I thought you were calling him like Shaiko, but with Die, and then
no,
again,
Dyko,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Listen, I could be here all night, honestly. Dyko Jordan and Matty Pippin. I mean, it's happening. And Swansea right now, I mean, 2-person advantage. But look at the fact that how reserved they are. They're not even looking to retake upstairs. Got a 2-person advantage, just holding crosses. And now when you think towards what Swansea are trying to do upstairs, I mean, 50 seconds for like kind of slowly ticking towards 40. They're running out of time to get things done. They're struggling to find picks. Their map controls all over the place. I really struggle to see how they're going to get things done. They need to take the onus and find these picks, find this control, and I mean, they're giving things away more so than they're taking things.
Yeah, giving the whole round away as they just have to go for that push at the end, and it doesn't find them anything. They weren't able to secure top floor control effectively, and just comes through. Swansea finally able to take the lead in this game, and now going on to their more efficient side, going on to their attacks. They are lined up to, well, take the map right here, right now. Obviously, Warwick could come through and get a defense, but it's definitely been Swansea's game for the last 7 rounds.
Oh, 100%. And Swansea have now started to turn up the heat ever since the turn of the half. I guess not even just after. It's just after the turn of the half, after that first round. I mean, Swansea were 5-2 down. Warwick, it was all towards them. The narrative all in their favour, and now it's just slipping away. The rope starting to burn their hands, and I mean this burn is pretty sore, considering with the fact that Swansea now on the attack. The only saving grace for Warwick is the fact that this site is the site that they were able to win out twice. So they're looking to make it a third time. There is a little statistic, a little kind of a knife in the side, is the fact that Swansea were able to win this out after facing up. I guess once before on their second attempt, so maybe on a second attempt after a win. I don't know. You kind of get what I'm saying.
Oh, well, we get you. But pressure is on Swansea to be able to actually make this round happen. They have, like you say, struggled taking this top floor. We're not going to see the Thatcher come through this time. Instead, keeping Matty on the Dukebi. That global utility has been really powerful for both of these teams throughout this game. But again, no Jaeger coming through from Warwick. Nothing to really burn utility from the side of Swansea. Burn Swansea's utility from the side of Warwick. But I mean, I guess that works instead. How?
Do you know something? Sometimes there is a thing of being too eager. Flanksy is really in this chat and letting the boys know about it.
Oh, absolutely. On every team, you've got to have the guy that's the vocal person who steps up and, you know, talks the talk to help you guys out and give you that mental boost. And I think for Warwick, that definitely is. Flanksy is going to see Die work his way on this balcony. There is pressure coming through from inside of CCTV, but he's going to deal with that quickly, get the kill onto Solaris, but he's not expecting Secret to be there as well, as Secret doubles up with the kill onto Marv. And of course, every time we go to overtime, the sides and the momentum seems to switch. The defense here now, after being on the back foot the whole way through the map, is taking the lead here. Is going to be a 2 versus 4 for Swansea to try and close this map out, as Warwick really just need to sit back and play the time.
It's not only that, it's the fact that when you think towards this next round, and I mean, Warwick will be attacking a site that Swansea will feel most uncomfortable with, that they've not actually won yet. I mean, right now, I mean, you're really looking at Swansea having to try and fight this back, and I mean, that's a good first step. There goes one, on towards Secret, a big kill considering the fragging capabilities, but in terms of the utility, I mean, you've still got Dr. Chickens with a C4, Flanksy with a C4, a lot of stopping power here.
Yeah, they're aware of Blizzard sitting behind the half wall, but Blizzard is being so patient, not going for these plays. He's just going to sit there and wait for the push to come through, meaning that Flanksy can worry about the other angles. The cameras are going to be taken by Matty to maybe give over a little bit more intel to the side of Swansea, but with only less than 20 seconds to go, this push has to come through now. The execute starts, and Matty is just going to be able to swing, get that kill onto Dr. Chickens. It's back with the diffuser as the cap can up close of Flanksy. Flanksy gets downed, and now it's a 1 versus 1. He needs to find this final player. He needs to go for the kill, and he's not able to land the shots. Blizzard is going to be able to secure it with the MPX to keep this one going all the way to around number 15.
Sometimes the high fire rate just wins out in those close engagements. That is so unfortunate for Swansea, but I mean, Warwick making it, getting it over the line by any means necessary. And now it's all about the finishing line. One last round between these two teams. And I think Vent's Workshop is not a bad pick for Swansea, because if anything, out of all the rounds, I think this is the closest that Swansea made it between the two, with Warwick, well, the end goal, or the end of the round still being a Warwick win. Honestly, I think it is going to be a hard task to ask of Swansea to win this round, but at the same time, if there's any site to do it, it has to be this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't really see them have anything resembling much success on their other sites, like you say, so coming back down here could give them that potential. I mean, I'm quite impressed by the way that Swansea have played, in the fact that we've got Dai and Marv, who we expect to, pop off and have good games, getting 15 and 16 kills each. But despite the fact that Spack hasn't
10 seconds remaining.
really been effective in the gunfight so far, is probably quite a nice way of
5
saying it,
seconds
going
left
1
before
and
insertion.
10. It hasn't really slowed them down. We saw a lot of impact on the side of Warwick when Secret slowed down as the rest of the team warmed up. But for Swansea, they've gone, right, okay, Spack, you just sit there, you get on drones, get on cams, get on util. We can handle the rest of it.
Yeah. I think Spack is the MVP, to be honest, with the amount of fragging capability that they're bringing forward. It has to be said. I mean, Spack, obviously the player on the that's been kind of like trolled the hardest, you'd say, on the roster. And you know what? He doesn't deserve any trolling here, because he really is putting in an absolute performance.
Is that a little bit of sarcasm I detect?
Definitely not. No chance.
No,
I would never
no.
do that.
This is a sarcasm-free zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not promote sarcasm in Newell.
Absolutely not. But Marv might promote getting the opening kill once again, as he's been able to sneak his way back up into CCTV. The intel probably came through saying that it was clear, but that's not going to catch anyone off guard, as that's going to be 2 quick kills going the way of Warwick. Dr. Chicken's just spamming through with the free fire, getting Matthew, who was just waiting for the push to come through that double door. And that's not the start that Swansea wanted here. This is looking like Warwick could take it. After being in control early on and really letting it slide, they could have just done enough to secure this map 1 for themselves.
Queen is still on the board. Which player that is, I'll let you guess. As you think towards what Swansea have, a 3-player crossfire. I mean, there's still a minute and 20 left. I mean, Warwick can do so much here. The fact you've still got your Jacko, I mean, you've got the Lion. I mean, it's just going to be such a tough, again, another tough ask to be asked of Swansea. And Warwick are still taking their time by clearing all the util upstairs and even going to open up all the floor above them. It seems as if we are just going to get the players waiting and holding those, I guess, chokeholds, those drops on towards the site. Although if you hold the drops, you need to be aware of what else can go wrong. We're down to a 2 versus 4, 45 seconds remaining. These players really need to get a move on.
Dai is good for the kill onto Solaris. That means that the EU1Ds aren't going to be there when they go for the execute, and it's going to give Dai enough space to work his way on in. There is a player outside this window. That's the one with the diffuser. It's Blizzard, but it's going to be the quick drop coming through from Secret down from the hatch into the objective to leave Spack left alone in a 1 versus 4, and he's not going to get anything for it. It's going to be Warwick coming back after a disappointing 14-1 series in favor of Swansea last week. Are going to be able to get map number 1 for themselves on border, a map that was even Swansea's map pick. A very strong showing coming through. The improvement that this team has displayed is very impressive, and I mean, we could be in for a much longer series than I think either of us expected at the start of the night.
Yeah, that's completely true. And I think Swansea even had more kills at the end there. It just goes to show you it doesn't matter about kills, it matters about round wins, And honestly, that's what I'm most excited about. Moving on towards the next map, we're moving on towards Club. Both teams at an equal footing, and we were talking about how Club's all about the basics. And if the basics, if one team has better basics, then we expect them to win. I mean, realistically, looking after that last map, I could see any team winning this one.
Yeah, I mean, historically speaking, you would just outright give that to Swansea, but Swansea took a long time to get going. They did make mistakes. Warwick were able to punish them, and like you say, it all comes down to the basics. It all comes down to how well you can do the fundamentals, and we've seen a great improvement from Warwick in their fundamentals. I believe this is even Warwick's map pick, so definitely going to be a lot of confidence coming through from Warwick there, but we are going to go to a quick little 5-minute break before we get on into that map. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the upper bracket grand finals for the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for Rainbow Six Siege Spring 2023. We've just seen map number 1 go the way of Warwick in a stunning 15-round battle between the two. Now we're going to be going on over to Clubhouse, Cairo. How do you think about this one? What do you think is going to happen here?
I mean, after the surprise on board, I actually couldn't tell you, thinking about the fact that Swansea ended up losing that out when even at the start, before we go into the map, we were favouring that, but Warwick have came out the gates absolutely flying. Yeah, it took a bit longer to get over the line, but I think it was more to do with the fact that it was an attacker-sided border. Moving in towards Clubhouse now, we've already started to prepare for that. The fact that we're looking at the team's basics, whoever has the best basics usually going to win out the map. And looking towards that last border, there was a lot of simple mistakes being made by probably you could argue both teams, but I guess we'll see who actually fixes themselves up and is able to continue for the rest of the tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last week we didn't get there as it was a 14-1 in favour of Swansea, but Clubhouse was going to be the decider last time these two played each other if they got that far. So this is obviously a map. I mean, not just the fact that it's one of the big three. It's not just because it is a map that everyone has played, but it is definitely one that both of these teams are comfortable on. So you could fully expect this to be another close, drawn-out battle between the two that could go all the way into overtime and even max overtime once again. Do you think it'll go that far? Obviously, I think Swansea's going to be starting on the defense here. So do you
Yeah.
feel like that gives them an advantage? Some people say that Clubhouse can be quite attacker-sided at times.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I think we're now in a meta where like I don't think it really matters about what what bias there is coming into it, especially when you think towards what Clubhouse has been up to. I think we're now looking at just a replication of whatever your opponent can do, and then like that's when I think we could call it. Thinking towards the bans though, will be the typical one, maybe a hard breach, and the likes of there we go, Habana, who's surprised there, Queen of the Hatches gone off the board. Probably a Cade. Mira is for attacker, probably a knock.
I wouldn't expect really a Thatcher to come through. The Nook wouldn't be too much of a surprise, but I feel like on a map like this, you might want to go for someone with a bit more utility. So we might see another hard breacher get banned on out, or maybe even the Osa once more. But instead, it's going to be the Dekebi. We did see Swansea use that Dekebi basically every single round on their attack, and always to great effect.
Yeah, it makes total sense. The fact that Dokkaebi can get those pesky phone calls up there in terms of the cams and the hacking them, etc. So I'm not too surprised as we head in towards the defensive side of the bans now. Cade coming off the board is not too surprising at all. As for the last one of those bans, I'm interested to find out. I don't think Cade is that impactful of a ban, considering there is Thatcher and all of the kind of impact EMPs. Valkyrie, the last one, isn't so surprising either, but I don't know if I like Warwick's ban there on towards the Cade.
I mean, with the Cade, you can still make opening hatches and walls quite difficult. Yes, the EMPs are going to be available, even the secondary EMPs online, which we've seen Warwick run a lot. But if you don't have to worry about that as a starting point, it does free up your options, your utility, and can help you go with a bit more speed. I feel like if you wanted to leave an operator like Mirror on the board and you're starting on the attack, a Kaid isn't a terrible ban to go with. But like you say, it is a bit of a wobbly one, that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with the kind of support the Mira and stuff like that. It's just one of those things that we obviously like to have a wee dissector. Nice little chat. In terms of chats and what's going on with Swansea, they've not got the kitchen hatch, which I think Matthew is about to do right now. Is a bit worried there. No one on the top floor, so looking pretty turtle heavy right now.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams these days do what I like to call a box and one on this site, where you have basically 4 players on the objective and 1 guy going for a bit of a roam. But typically Swansea do use the whole space of a map. Like, they do typically extend all the way up to the top floor with reinforcements and utility and work the whole map back. So maybe this is just them playing it safely for the start of the game, or maybe they've been caught off guard by losing that first map and don't want to be offering up any freebies early on here and get a bit of confidence back.
I wonder if with them looking to play a lot more reserved and get a feel for how Warwick want to play the map, that maybe we might see a regression. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they're not playing off their usual game plan, that they might be kind of playing at a bad spot, but they are playing a lot of info denial. The fact that they're looking to destroy these drones, Die still in towards Bar, so maybe there is a much more better extension than what we actually initially thought, especially with a player supporting from main. Die kind of being like an interlinking player, especially with the fact that you think towards the fact that Matty's playing on towards Secret. It's an interesting setup that Swansea went for here.
The Solus of Matty has come through to great effect already, though, as we see 5 drones from the side of Warwick destroyed. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on Secret to use those Gemini replicators effectively to gain as much intel as possible, as, you know, the drone game has been severely impacted, and the minute 20 to go, Die is still able to be a threat. Gets another drone, but that does mean his position's been revealed. They're going to be aware that there is a guy inside a strip club. They're going to send in more drones to try and deal with him. That Keeper Barrier doesn't quite land in the right spot. There's going to be a little bit of damage dealt onto flanks. He's a follow-up Keeper Barrier comes through to successfully block off the doorway, as Secret is going to try and throw a nade on in. This is so good from Die. The time, the utility, and actually getting a kill, able to eliminate Blizzard, just burning so much away from Warwick here.
It's not only that, now when you think towards if they hit to the site, these kind of ratty spots, the off positions that Swansea perhaps could play are going to be so much more impactful, because there's not going to be time to clear out these corners. They need to get in towards the site. The gunfight is going to be so sporadic and even more stressful than what they would normally be. The players slowly approach here. There's still coil flames going down. Look at how much in terms of, I guess, wasting time that they've got here.
Yeah, Matty is going to be able to get the trade back onto Secret. He's still sitting behind the box, and he's going to get one more before Dr. Chickens and Flanksy chime in, but it's going to be Die, the player on the flank that was never dealt with, goes up to the hatch and is able to get both of those last 2 kills. I mean, that was a very big misplay coming through from Warwick, not clearing out Strip Club at the start of the round. That is an area that you should probably just chuck a drone in to begin with. And then from there, they took a lot of time. Yes, their utility and information gathering game was heavily disrupted, but it was still a lot of time taken just to get small amounts of space.
I think as well, when you think towards the kind of like that strip side, like there's always like at least one player starts from that side and kind of just goes in and takes bathroom, you know, so that they can cut off main or anybody trying to get back from kitchen. It's just kind of what we see in terms of how players want to do this. If you look towards in terms of what we're doing right now, and I mean the extension in towards cash, pretty much standard. There's nothing too crazy to kind of break down from this round specifically as well.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, nothing too crazy coming through just yet. Never say never. As once again, Warwick losing a drone early on. This time it's Secrets getting destroyed during the prep phase, which is really not ideal, especially on a map where there are always going to be external reinforcements to indicate where the site is, and you can generally hear the utility being used to go through the operators. So losing a drone during the prep phase, not ideal, as it's like Warwick are just going to go for a straight jacuzzi wall take, not, you know, throwing all of their utility over towards the CCTV side to start things off, as we often find teams do.
Well, it just seems things just progressing ever so slowly, as things can do on Clubhouse. It can feel a little bit of a, how would you call it? Just a kind of, it's like the wick of a candle, you know. The smells and the kind of loveliness of a candle can be so relaxing, and watching this is extremely relaxing. But in terms of any sort of bangs or fireworks, it does take a while to get to that point if it's a candle.
Yeah, as interesting little situation going on there, as Solaris is trying to put down an OSA OSA window on the window, as impacts are being thrown on out. He's on incredibly low HP. Flanksy and Matthew have been traded out, as Secret is downstairs by the pool table. The castle barricades there are denying them from being able to get this outside wall open, but this isn't anything particularly complex. We do have Dr. Chicken's insider logistics that could really play spoiler here.
Keeper barriers again, just playing that little bit of just denying or gaining information as well. You think towards if anyone tries to destroy that, or the pings, oh, that's so unfortunate for Chickens. And Matty will pick that up, the castle barricade as well, as it looks as if Spac's getting in on the mix. This is just so unfortunate for Warwick. Things have not turned out the way that they really wanted things to, although they seem to have fought back just ever so slightly. Marv does get on towards Blizzard, but it's Solaris on such low HP, and Swansea finish it out.
Yeah, that was bad from Warwick. Okay, no. Like, don't pull that face at me. That was not how you attack Jim on Clubhouse. The walls to CCTV were soft. No one at the start of the round went over and put a breaching pad on it to open it up to then stop the peak coming through so that you can then open up the castle barricades and destroy the bandit wires and get the wall open, which is what you had to do from basically day one of the map being reworked. So I don't know what Warwick were thinking of doing there, but they didn't think about it hard enough.
Unfortunately, in Rainbow Six, do you know something? Do you know one thing that I have tried to do is play this game without thinking, because I'm literally incapable of it. And yeah, sometimes you can struggle. You can struggle with a game if you don't think well enough.
10 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
Yeah, it's like they
5 seconds
go and
remaining.
challenge the window by putting an OSA barrier on
Yeah.
it. But because you're doing it from that direction, you have to be worried about construction.
Yeah.
So then you have to take Logi before you've taken construction, which then means
Yeah.
that people are just going to get pinched.
Yeah, and it's just the poor map control, and you know what? Things again, it just makes things harder and harder. And in terms of making things harder and harder, that was just a little spawn peak. And trying to make it harder for at least one of these teams. And I mean, this site can be pretty hard to defend as well. It is going to be double bar. As for what it could go up their sleeve to try and, I guess, not stop, but certainly play against this. It seems to be a top floor take for what they're trying to do. And I mean, there is a few bodies committed up here.
Yeah, there's a bit of pressure coming through from Swansea. They're obviously going to be trying to play around that construction hatch to stop a quick plant going through onto the stage and to give themselves a nice little quick rotation onto the objective should a push start to come through. So they've got Flanksy upstairs, not let anyone from Swansea get too many ideas. But the rest of the push from Warwick hasn't really been defined so far. They've got garage control for free. Dr. Chickens is going to open up into lounge. Solaris is working his way on into stock, but the reinforced walls in front of him are going to slow him down a bit, as you see the thermite of Blizzard had gone upstairs to assist Planksy in opening up that construction wall to keep that control in Warwick's favour.
Okay, the long angle's being held. Solaris just having to deal with these footholds are just so tough as well. I mean, it creates that spot that realistically you don't know if there's someone at the other side. It's so hard to check, especially when you've still got that shield out. And Dai's just gaining all this information off the Echo drones. In terms of what has been done in progress upstairs, not a lot. And Spac's just been left in, or not Spac, sorry, I was going to say that there is a player just being left in towards Logi. Yes, Matthew. Spac can also go on towards these Maestro drones, which there's two of, to deny in towards default. Matty's came up, got Flanksy. This is not looking good at all for Warwick. 40 seconds left. They need to get a move on, and well, they're only getting a move on in terms of entering into this round.
Yeah, the push is coming through, getting absolutely nothing. Matty has retaken all the ground upstairs after getting the kill onto Flanksy. Dr. Chicken's going down for him. The push through Kitchen means that this is now a 3 versus 4. Secret has had to work his way back to the top to try and regain this control, but the pre-fire is going to work out in Matty's favor, and Matthew is going to follow it with one onto Solaris, meaning there's all left up to Blizzard. The spam coming through, and it's going to be Matty getting the 3k in this round. Like, they had the control upstairs.
Yeah.
They had that wall open. Flanksy was there.
Yeah.
But it all just fell apart. I don't know what was going on. Maybe Flanksy overpeaked. Maybe he just lost the engagement. Maybe he did everything right and just lost the engagement, and the whole round falls apart from there. But
Yeah.
Warwick definitely lost that round very hard.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I mean, I think when you look towards what Warwick were doing, like one player positioned upstairs, like watching through construction. I mean, that was just literally to deny the hatch, right? You've literally got one player placed there to deny the hatch and then play the post plant. As for what happened downstairs, I mean, I can't even begin to try and think about what went wrong. I mean, it felt as if there was nothing going on for so long. The yokais hadn't been dealt with. There was maestro cameras still up. You go to pull the execute when it happens, and there's still so much of this utility up that you probably could start to struggle. I mean, you think towards what was being brung in that last round. I mean, there was nades there, there was Zophia's there. I don't know. It's hard to kind of talk about it because you don't know what Warwick have actually identified with the drones as well. Have they identified the spawn peak? Hopefully.
Hopefully. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to be going into Dye's line of sight just yet, as... Oh god, we're seeing Marv still being aggressive here, wanting to go for the challenges, but isn't getting anything for the time being, as Warwick are going to be going for a complete top-down take. And here we are, we're seeing the reinforcements from Swansea being used on the top floor to try and slow down and burn up as much Warwick utility as possible. Going to force Warwick to go for the slightly less favourable push through from the gym side to try and get this clear.
3-0 up, and Swansea looking to at least make it 4. Probably looking to make it 6, let's be honest. But, I mean, now as they start to really play on towards with a perfect rotation, though, Warwick are only going to are going to be in such a disadvantage. I mean, sure, they've seen the full site setup, but realistically, have they? Because they all kind of pushed in towards blue, and then it just became a little bit of a meat grinder, and it's Swansea just the butchers of that. So, in terms of what Warwick have actually done, they've not tested dirt, and they never really done much with kitchen or bar either. So, again, another tough conundrum to try and unlock.
Yeah, I mean, typically when you're doing a basement take, you need to have 2 avenues of attack. You can't just do the hatches, you can't just do blue. You have to combine that, right? If you're going to do a hatches drop, you have to have blue control. You can do kitchen, you might want to take dirt as well. But we're not seeing that really come through from Warwick. They are using their hard breach gadgets to open up these hatches, as we're not seeing any true hard breacher come through. Matty is playing up close against this single wall as they've... Oh, I thought for a second that Warwick had dropped on down to kitchen, but no, that's going to be the players from Swansea retaking into armory, and Matty doubling up, getting Blizzard and Flanksy. Secret starting to work his way down blue, but the timing is off, and it's going to be Dye there to secure the kill. As Solaris at the bottom of main stairs is going to be good for 1, as Dr. Chicken's a lot of spam, a lot of fire, a lot of smoke in front of his face. He's going to deny those shots from going on through, and Matty is going to be there to secure that kill, meaning there's just Solaris left alone in a 1 versus 4, 20 seconds to go. Diffuser dropped inside of Church, and everyone's out hunting for him.
15 seconds.
Yeah, really, truly is. Solaris. Where are you going, mate? He's gonna wander. I don't know if this is maybe Warwick taking a technical timeout, as it's called, as they look to walk away and the team reconvene their thoughts. I mean, it is essentially a done deal at this point. I don't think it's anything to do with Kate. Oh no, there you go. It literally is a technical timeout, and they're just buying a few extra seconds. They've requested it, and now we head in towards that 45-second timer.
I thought for a second that they did it too late and that was going to be into the round. But yeah, Warwick definitely needing a moment to sit down and chat about this one, because it was very unconvincing. This is Clubhouse. This is one of the big 3. You know, this is one of the maps that you should, as a competitive player, know inside and out. The basics, like, when you're doing a gym take, you need to clear out CCTV. When you're doing a downstairs push, you need 2 avenues of attack. They're just not being done. The timing's coming through from Warwick, but they're not giving themselves much room to work with. And it really shouldn't look this difficult to win rounds on attack on Clubhouse, where the only sort of hindrance to your attack is the loss of Hibana. Isn't even a hindrance anymore because you've got secondary hard breach gadgets. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's not only that, the fact that, I mean, there's so many options bring an ace, you know, and the fact that, again, you've got the secondary hard breach gadgets as well. I mean, there's so much to like kind of digest, and we were talking about like teams having basics, and whoever has the best basics is going to win out the map, etc., etc. And you look towards what Swans have been doing, and realistically, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but they've not been doing anything too special. It's not as if they've got like an elaborate, how would you put it, like an elaborate SSG roam where one player's playing off another. Like, they're just literally destroying drones and dropping off and controlling the map to their best ability. The delay that they've been able to kind of expend on the map, like Warwick's time management all through the game for this map specifically hasn't been great.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, even having like Die in this position once again, like they couldn't deal with this last time.
But this time, Secret has seen Die make the rotation here on the drone. The doors have been open. They're dealing with it immediately. Die did get the drone there, but he is going to be forced to back on out. There is a player inside a kitchen. Dr. Chicken's quickly taking that space and is going to get the kill onto the roaming Solace. And this is a much better start coming through from Warwick than anything we've seen so far here.
Big pickup. I mean, that's the time wasting part gone, but as we see here, Marv now looking to step up, sub in, look to be that upset, and there's also Matthew upstairs playing through the hatches as the drones look to clear out the rest of this map. It's all about Warwick identifying these players, identifying exactly what they can do here. And this could be the issue, although, oh no, the castle's completely given themselves up.
Bomb has been located.
There were two people there to deal with that, but they only needed the one. It's going to be Flanksy to get that kill. Marv is aware of the shots coming through from down below. He's going to be able to trade out Secret in response. As Swansea trying to keep this one close. It is important to note that the player who's been most successful for Swansea so far on this map has been Matty, and he is still alive as Marv is really coming to life here, getting the kill onto Flanksy, meaning that this 5 versus 3 has in the space of 20 seconds and 2 quick kills from Marv gone into a 3 versus 3. Solaris is going to be outside on the balcony, but he didn't get the shield down in time, and now he's going to be in a very difficult position as he needs to try and get to safety, but there is nowhere safe on that balcony once that window is open.
Spack still with a C4 in pocket. We know what C4s can do, especially if you watch Board Up. These players now looking to get in towards Jim. Beautiful shots from Matty, although traded out, unfortunately. Although in TPNO could easily find themselves in a position to get rezzed. C4 now looking to be flung up above, and well, now this floor will be like lava. Well, so will just be staying alive at this point. Blizzard doesn't get caught. Still with the diffuser in pocket, and Matty and Spack now need to play off one another.
15 seconds to go. Blizzard needs to try and find space. The Nitro coming through early from Spack is giving him an opportunity here. He needs to isolate these kills. He needs to do it quickly. He shoots the alibi replicator instead. He's going to be pinged, and the proximity alarms are going to give away his position. He's going to run and get behind the island in the middle of the bedroom and go for the plant. Spack went for the run, expecting the push to come through. There is potentially going to be time, but not enough, as Spack is able to make his way back onto the objective before the diffuser is down successfully. That's going to be Swansea keeping a clean bill here as they move into their final defensive round before the switch.
One more left, and that's the closest that we've seen it come between the two teams. The fact that it's came down to a 1 versus 1 means that Warwick are heading in the right direction, but is it too little, too late? A 5-1 half would at least give Warwick one round of breathing room, but it would not be much. That margin for error so low. In fact, the lowest, no, it's not the lowest, but the lowest it can be in terms of if you've got a chance of winning it out in regulation. I mean, one more round, 6-0 Swansea. They only need one more on the attack, and we've seen how Clubhouse can go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at these operator bans, I would have said that this would have been an attacker-sided game. You know, you're losing the Valkyrie for the defense, so you lose a lot of the intel. You don't have to deal with the Kaid, which means getting open the hatches and everything's going to be much easier. Having the Hibana gone isn't as impactful anymore because you can just bring an ace and a buck and you've got all the hard breach you need. And then the Dekebi is good for the universal utility, but if you want to bring Lion as well. That works just as successfully, and he also has the impact EMPs. So it should be a very attacker-sided game in my mind, and Warwick are not taking advantage of that, as Marv is taking advantage of the 1.5 on Oryx while it still exists, and is going to be getting the kill onto the ace, one of the two hard breaches brought by Warwick in this round.
At least there's that little bit of I don't even like second chance of getting stuff open, but I mean even at that, it's going to be tough. The fact that you've got Thermite only with 2 charges, I guess if you can get them off successfully, but I mean look at what Swansea are going to have here in terms of keeping walls up. It's going to be that outside wall upstairs that gets opened, or you'd imagine the wall in from I guess that stockroom area. They look as if they're going to go again to at least position one player out towards the cash door to deny any construction take, but I mean, they are really committing a lot of bodies to this. Well, there's nothing else happening anywhere on the map, but yeah, there's one of those charges gone.
It's interesting that they've brought 2 sets of hard breach on the objective where you need the least amount of hard breach, because you really just have to get that wall upstairs and then maybe open up the stock wall, but you could even open up the soft side of the stock wall if you wanted to. It's not as ideal, but you know, the option is still there, and an absolute necessity is Die on the roam down in the basement, going to fire some shots up through the floor. Scared Dr. Chickens just a little bit, but Blizzard too slow with the rotation means that Die is going to be safe unless he goes for the repeat. He goes for the repeat, and he's not going to land the shots. Blizzard is going to be able to successfully pick up that kill, as with a minute to go for 4. Warwick with control of the upstairs hatch. Could go through to Warwick in this round, as Flanksy is starting to have to make a little bit more of an engagement here, as his Oster shield has been destroyed. He goes for the peek. He is actually going to get that first kill onto Matty. There is a second player up here to try and deny things, as Spack is going to get a kill onto a player inside of the objective. With 30 seconds left to go, Warwick really needs to make a play now.
Yeah, it's now in their hands to get things done, but with the diffuser being down, it's the hardest thing is the fact that that diffuser's down. I mean, Warwick really need to get a move on. Go and take the initiative here. Go and get things done, but unfortunately that initiative is being punished. It's all up to Flanksy upstairs, and yeah, there we have it. Swansea will find their 6th, a clean sweep on this first half, and the question is, how many rounds will Warwick be able to win on this second?
Yeah, that was a beautiful peek coming through from the alibi there. I like the adjustment from Warwick in that round, giving Flanksy an Osa shield up top to be able to work with. The thing is that the players up top that he was fighting against had impacts and shields of their own that they can use to just deny that play coming through. But we are seeing the adaptations happening from Warwick. Is it going to be too little too late? Are Swansea going to be able to clean things up on this first attack? We are going to have to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, like, I have to echo your thoughts on the Osa shield. I mean, this is it. Like, as we move on towards the second half, when you think towards the kind of what the players are going to be able to do, in terms of what the players are going to be able to do on this defensive side, I mean, the good thing is that like Swansea have given them a blueprint, right? You know Swansea can do it, so why can't we do it? That sort of stuff, especially when you think towards what we're able to like win out border. So in their heads they'll be like convincing themselves like, oh, we're better than Swansea, and Swansea will be like, oh, that last map was a fluke. They kind of, you know what players are like. You know, it's the biggest copium that anybody can kind of bring forward, but. It's not a bad place to start this bottom floor defense. You kind of look to all the tools that you've got. I mean, you've got some pretty big ones like the Azami. I mean, Maestro being brought is an interesting one from Dr. Chickens. I'm not going to say he's pretty far out of the meta, but he's not been as popular as others. So it's going to be cool to kind of see what they bring forward. Again, Swansea though had a pretty active roaming in terms of going for these drones, denying the intel, but it seems as if Warwick are happy to sit back, relax, and let Swansea have the rest of this map.
No Solus coming through from Warwick, like you alluded to, means that the drone game from Swansea is going to be slightly safer. We're not seeing any dedicated hard breach operator coming through, instead relying on Matty and Spack with the secondary hard breach gadgets to get the necessary hatches open. Be interesting to see if they do want to go for a blue take as well, as there's a little bit of pressure coming through from the top of Secret as the rest of the top floor clear is happening. Marv going to find out that everything's nice and available as the drones are going to go on through as well. And I say this hard hold on the objective coming through from Warwick, a very safe play, but it is going to mean that Swansea's going to have a lot of time to go for whatever execute they want.
Looks if Matty is wanting to go out, get some cams by dropping that diffuser on. Solaris is close by, so if they go to retake in towards garage, that would be a tough ask to get it back.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Swansea, again, I mean, they're using a full clock, and we've seen them do this before. It's the patience that really puts them in such a good spot. The fact that they're willing to kind of go to the extremities and test everything that Warwick have in terms of the setup, slowly and periodically, I guess, tick away at this checklist that they have here. And already, I mean, they've done a lot of that.
Yeah, and they've done a lot of that entirely unimpeded. We are going to have Dai on the ground floor, opening up some of the floorboards as Marv is at the bottom of the stairs, going to be holding down that long hallway. Flanksy is going to be sort of the counter to that, as the church hatch has now been opened up, and with Marv applying the pressure from the main stairs, and it looks like we might even have Matty working his way down blue. There's Capital Firebolts could be used to dislodge the player sitting behind the box there. Could be enough of sort of many different angles happening to win the round here for Swansea, but they are really cutting this fine and down to the wires. There's only 20 seconds left to go here, Cairo.
20 seconds left, and it really is going to have to be getting a move on. The players look to drop through. That's a lovely placement of the firebolt, and well, it's going to make players that little bit sweeter, that little bit easier to destroy. But diffuser being down, 3 seconds left. It's all up to Marv, but oh, the players play keep away, and Warwick will able to find that round, a big one for them to find. And when it comes towards those gunfights, no matter how much control you have, Swansea, Warwick will just win them out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised by the lack of play through dirt that we've seen from both of these teams today. Typically, that is a bit of a staple. You just have someone start to apply pressure down it to dislodge or to just hold an angle that makes people uncomfortable. And it's just not come through at all, and that is making things easier for the defense when they're on that basement hold, as they can, you know, turn their back safely to that wall and have a nice firing position to start from. As now Warwick are going to be going up to gym and bedroom for their secondary site. They're even going to be reinforcing the outside CCTV walls, so they are aware that pushing through CCTV is the play to go for, but they chose not to do it for their own attack.
I think that they are really extending pretty far here, so things might end up in an interesting state of affairs when we get towards that. So Solaris being left not so much isolated, but certainly not as supported as you would want to be on towards rafters. Obviously Secret coming late. I wonder if they were left to do some sort of reinforcement elsewhere, and that just means that, like, I was going to say Swansea miss out, but they don't really, because you've got the Thatcher there anyway. So, I mean, not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, we are going to have to wait a while for the EMP to come on through. It's a bit of a long throw, and the exothermic charge is going to get placed before the bandit trick can go off. That means the wall is now successfully open. The angles can't be held, and Dr. Chickens is going to go for a rotation back away. Marv has been able to crack open this window just a little bit and hold down a very nice angle, meaning that Secret can't come through and go for the bandit trick there. But there's no one on the CC balcony really to deny the peak coming on through. Blizzard is dealing a little bit of damage, or trying to at least, as This wall is going to get opened up by the Selvers, and very good time management coming through from Swansea.
Yeah, they're really already looking at a good, looking to be in a good spot for getting the plant down pretty soon. But it's whether they can actually do that. The Melusi though just found out through a crack. Oh God, surely not. Mark just putting the team on their shoulders at this point and looking to get this game over the line. There is a player on towards the hatch, but Matthew sees the foot first before we can even get ahead. Out, Secret fighting back, and so does Blizzard. We're down to a 2 versus 2, Dino, and it's just been a flip of a coin.
Matthew able to get the kill back. Blizzard trying to push on in and gain as much intel as possible, but that is going to be Matty going down in the Frostmat as he tries to push on into Bathroom. Matthew might be able to go on in and get the revive, but this is going to give Secret the space to push on up, and they're both grouped up in the same position, and it's going to be Secret to get the kills. Matty went for the swing initially and just got taken down before he was ready, and the low HP of the ace not enough to win that round for Swansea. And Warwick not letting this one go away easily either, as they are going to continue to fight back. The challenge is now they're going to be moving on to their tertiary site, which typically is your weaker site, typically is the one that you expect to lose. But if you're Warwick, you can't afford to lose anything here.
I've got a question for you, Dino. Let's play a little bit of a game.
Oh no.
Ready?
I'm ready.
One word.
6
letters.
Okay.
Typically known as a mystical beast that hides under a bridge.
Trolls?
Trolls. Absolute trolls. I cannot believe that we have witnessed that. Yes, it was a good round all in all from Swansea, but come on, surely there's at least a drone or something to watch that spot. Do you know what? I don't want to be too like kind of negative towards the players. I'm having a joke jokes with them, but yeah, I mean, not the best play in the world, and I imagine everybody will know that. Even the fact that Matty was the player I think it was Matty. Was it Spat? Well, whoever it was that jumped through and never checked below them. It's just so tough.
Yeah, I mean, the Frostmat in the Bathroom does generally tend to catch people off guard, regardless of how many times you do it. But it was the big double kill for me coming through from Secret, I believe, when he was still over inside of CC cache area. That really was the defining moment in the round, and then, you know, cleaning up, getting the last 2 as well. Is it going to be enough to really keep Warwick in this game in the long run? As like I say, going to be the double bar. We're going to see how Swansea want to go for this attack. It's going to be a similar sort of setup coming through in terms that they want to go for the cache side and get the wall open and hold down from there. Are they going to be able to be more effective with it than we saw Warwick on their plays? The Secret going to carry on his hot streak from the last round and get the Nitro onto Marv to start this round off.
Warwick looking to replicate exactly what Swans were able to do with a perfect rotation, a great first pickup, especially on towards how Marv has been doing, you know, getting frags left, right and centre. We saw it last round at the start. This time not going to be able to do anything. 2 nades off the board as well. Die going to have to, I guess with the help of Matty, there's only 1 nade left. 3 in total. I mean, you're looking towards this. There's enough util to get the work done, but losing a set of nades isn't great. And obviously, there was a reason to why that was being brought. They're not going to have to be used to clear it in towards main stairs, where I believe Blizzard is holding that down. But no, actually on towards main stairs. You get rid of the Maestro cams as well. I mean, there's still a lot to do with a minute left, but I mean, at least there is a minute left to get things done.
Flanksy's still on the top floor. This wall has been fully opened up. He goes for the peak to try and gain some intel, but it's going to be Die actually to get into the next engagement and get downed. His potential of the revive to come on through, as I do believe those shots came from up above. Matthew aware that there is a player inside of logistics, but as he was trying to cross, he's now put himself into a very, very difficult situation. Die with the nade and try and throw it down the hallway. Or no, just to get rid of the Maestro camp close to that wall. 30 seconds to go here, Cairo. Swansea really just not having any foothold or momentum in this round. They've got the walls open, but they need that pressure to start coming through. And somehow, actually, they've been able to get SPAC into the site to go for the plant. But Matthew up above has been killed, meaning that the hatch is now going to be working against them. And it's going to be SPAC to get the kill onto Flanksy to start things off. But that means that he's off the plant, and Solaris is going to be there to deny the plant entirely, because he's going to get the kill onto the Thermite, and it's going to be Secret to get the final kill of the round onto Die. And Warwick, after being absolutely swept on their attacking half, and now done a full site rotation without any problems.
Oh yeah, here we go. The timeout's already been requested. The fact that it's been a perfect rotation of the sites already. Look at this. Warwick's back in the chat. They're fighting. They're fighting a mental game as well as on the server. But yeah, Swansea, the fact that they've let these last couple of rounds go, and I'm not saying like the performance has been disappointing, but the past 3 rounds they've certainly not looked great. Warwick look absolutely insane. They look just as good as what Swansea were looking, and I think that's the big thing, is the fact that right now Warwick look as if they could replicate what Swansea did on their first half, and we could be in for another OT.
We could find ourselves all the way through to overtime, but Swansea have taken that timeout. They are going to be aware that the site is going to be the basement. They are going to have the opportunity to think about this one in more detail. Hopefully, we're going to see a bit more of a developed push coming through, employing the many different angles and opportunities that you can go for. As like this time around, Warwick aren't even going to reinforce dirt. They're just going to put a barricade up and a Goyo on that door leading into the site itself. Could give Swansea a little bit of an avenue, but it's going to depend on how much Warwick roam and how much time they're able to deny.
Yeah, I mean, I think towards that last round wasn't much of a roam. This time it's completely different. Looking very reminiscent of an SSG style roam. I was kind of hinting to, I was talking about on the last time that we saw Warwick defend. So this very extended roam, Swansea could just, cut things out and see these reinforcements and go, well, let's just hit the site. Let's just go quick and catch the players off guard. That's a big if, buts and maybes. It's obviously all up to what goes on in towards the team comms, but this is pretty extended from Warwick. Don't want to get pulled apart. If you start to see that kind of kerplunk that I was talking about, the fact that you see a kind of an angle being held that cuts off, massive rotations in the map, big one from Matty though. There goes Secret, fragging capability gone, and not only that, a C4 as well.
Yeah, that was the bandit that had been successful on the top 4, and of course it's Secret who has been so impactful in these last 2 rounds for Warwick's win. Off the board very, very early on. This means that the top floor control is going to be basically handed over to Swansea, as everyone else from Warwick is going to be, oh no, let's run away. We are going to have Solaris still sitting around on the middle floor and Flanksy playing on the lower half of the stairs to offer support. But Swansea have definitely started off this round very strongly. They do have Matty bringing the Ying and the Candelas to help with the actual execute itself. As now we're seeing the stats come on through. The Jackal utility being used to great effect to track down these players who are around inside of the middle floor. Time is still starting to tick away.
Well, look at this, a little bit of re-aggression there from Solaris. Just going on a little wander all the way up towards Oil Pitting, seeing what they perhaps can find, maybe a retake. It seems as if that could be the case. A little explosion came out there, I believe that was. Oh, no, I was just looking at to see what maybe had destroyed it. I don't see what has. Never mind, we won't focus on that. We'll focus on the other explosions in terms of the hatches being opened, etc. Matty did just find out Solaris there, and unfortunately has missed out on the opportunity of picking up the frag. Maybe not. Just drops oil. There's a freebie. Now we've got a 2-person advantage for Swansea, and the pressure on the site starts to become even bigger.
And there's less than 40 seconds to go as Marv hits a beautiful peak. That's going to be Blizzard taking down the Smoke, who was such a problem the last time this attack came through, has been wiped off the board before he's been able to use any of those Toxic Babes. Dr. Chickens playing at the back by AK is going to be good for one, as Flanks is going to chime on in and get one himself. But Marv, once again, getting the impactful kills, getting rid of Dr. Chickens and leaving this all up to Flanksy. But it's going to be Matty on that Ying. The first kill and the last kill of this round, number 7 win for Swansea to give them map number 2 and even the series out at 1 apiece.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, the fact that we go 1 apiece, that there is no 2-0, that kind of aspect where you'd look at Warwick and think to themselves, oh, well, I mean, they've got so much to play with now. Swansea don't. We go 1 apiece, and I mean, that means we're at least guaranteed, 4 maps.
Yeah. And, map number 3 is going to be Skyscraper, and we said that would be the interesting one of the day. So, gonna have to wait a little bit for that one. But before we go to break, I just want to ask you a question, Cairo, because you were going on in map number 1 about Dykel Jordan, as you put it. But in that game, he only went 4 and 6. It was the other players on the side of Swansea that really came through. Do you think that is going to be the difference maker in this series?
I mean, the thing is, though, I think about Swansea is the fact that they have so many players that can pop up, but so can Warwick. I mean, they've been ranting and raving about Secret. I mean, Flanksy in their own right. Yes, they've been trying to frag out in the text chat, but realistically, they have also been fragging out in the server. So they can do both. And do you know what? I think this is actually going to be a pretty good student finals.
Well, we're halfway through, or at least halfway through. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly after this break for map number 3, Skyscraper. Cheers.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Upper Bracket Finals, the Grand Finals for the Amazon UK Esports, or UK and Ireland Esports, Rainbow Six Siege Spring 2023. We've seen two maps so far today, Cairo. We're sitting at one apiece, and we're going to Skyscraper.
Yeah, we are, and this is going to be the most interesting one. It's me and you. We kind of earmarked it straight away, like, oh, that's going to be a nice one to have a look at. We've had Border, which was like it was like the Cajun in towards the mix, and then you've got obviously the Salt, which is Clubhouse, and now we head in towards the Jalapenos, the Ghost Peppers of Skyscraper, which I am looking most forward to.
Yeah, I'm sort of unsure as to what we're gonna see here. Obviously, Skyscraper is everyone's least favorite map at the moment. We don't really get to see a lot of it, particularly not at the university level. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategies that these teams bring out. It might be that one side has definitely got a more in-depth understanding of the map, or it could just be that they've gone, we'll try and catch each other out on this one, and then it just turns into a complete run and gun fest.
Yeah, I mean, looking towards Skyscraper, you know what? I'm going to be honest and say I think teams are a lot more, how do you put it, are now like a lot more kind of educated in terms of what's going on, especially with the fact that you've seen like Titan being involved with like the old kind of university teams and stuff like that, and Die obviously having some tier 3 experience, the likes and stuff like that. I think Skyscraper won't be as, I guess, much of a kerfuffle. I think both teams should have a general understanding and should come into this at a pretty decent game.
Yeah, certainly hope so. We are going to be getting on into the map in just a moment, but before we, get on into it, who do you think is going to walk away with this one? My memory serves this is Swansea's pick.
Yeah.
We have seen Swansea typically show a greater versatility on maps.
Yeah.
But Warwick have been playing exceptionally well so far today, and they could have had this one as a little pocket strap.
I'm going to be honest and say that I do favour Swansea just because of Dai's kind of like general siege education and how far and what they've done within like Siege. I mean, mate, I could be disrespectful and not know anybody else that could have done more, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just Dai's obviously the first name on the list that your eyes kind of look at and you're like, oh, there's Dai. Like you've seen, we know what he's done. Bans aren't surprising at all. It's been a mixture of map 1 and map 2. As we look towards the last one from Warwick, what are they looking towards? Mira perhaps? And oh my god, there you go.
You should maybe start casting this game. Your predictions are really on point when it comes to these operator bans.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Have you considered becoming a caster for some of the university leagues?
I've thought about it. I really have thought about it, but I'm not too confident when it comes towards that.
Oh. That's a shame. I think you do a really good job of it, but.
Defenders, protect your
As it is, we are going to be getting on into the first round here. It is going to be Warwick starting out on the defense and Swansea going for their attack. And it is, of course, going to be the classic tea room karaoke to get things going.
It's always the one that we go to first. The split of the two sites. How awkward Geisha is, and yeah, the fact that things can get a little bit interesting. I always love the kind of VIP roam, and how sometimes it can be so disconnected. But trying to cross that like midway part of the map, that like dragon slash is it like garden area is so tough for teams if they go from the VIP section, and then also you've got the part of like from the defensive side, like the kind of repels and stuff. It can be such an awkward map to attack.
Yeah, absolutely. But aiding the attackers is the fact that we are going to see the Thatcher remain unbanned. I know that we always go on about the secondary EMPs, and you know, now that the Qaed's not here, it sort of reduces the amount of strain that it puts onto those secondary EMPs. But getting open the single wall integration nice and early, if they choose to go for it, is going to be a massive benefit. Instead, Swansea are going to be investing in a full roam clear going through from the other side, and there's going to be a nade ready to get thrown out. It lands on the floor, forcing Secret to run out even further, and he is going to get traded, but that is going to be 1-for-1 nades, or at least one set of nades off the board. Warwick relatively happy about that one, I would say.
No, 100%. Oh god, no. You just know what's going to happen here. There's a couple of bullets shot towards the direction of Flanksy, though. And as they look to get... Oh, come on, Flanksy. How you missed that?
With great difficulty.
Yeah, it seems as if it was harder to miss than what it was to shoot, because there was absolutely no pressure. But we won't talk about that too much. The swing, oh no, Flanksy wasn't even looking. It's with central at the minute, and Swansea now starting to put a little bit of control in towards the map. Flanksy though reaggresses it.
Someone needs to give Flanksy a GPS or something, because that man looked absolutely lost there. Walking back through VIP, just openly challenging that breach. That's absolutely mental play coming through there, and that's going to give the player count advantage over to Swansea. Dye does get tagged up a lot from that engagement. Wasn't the cleanest fight despite the advantages, but Warwick definitely on the back foot as we get into these final 40 seconds.
And it's the final 40 seconds that is going to be the most impactful. The person advantage, again, remember, you got to think towards that. Swansea can just trade to the end, trade to win, but it's whether they get that first pick or not. If the players are close by, Matty has given away a sound call, and it will be them to rappel up on towards the window. Mark finding that first pick is massive, but the thing is though, look towards the time, it's getting all the way down. We're on 10 seconds. Yes, you can use all the time in the world to get the spike down or the diffuser down, but Swansea don't even need to as they drop all the bodies down. Fraudulent slip.
We'll just move over that one quickly. But I mean, that round was first of all Flanksy being lost, really. The 1-for-1 trade going on outside between the Oryx and the Sledge. It's kind of a bit annoying, but I'm not too upset by it. You get rid of the Sledge, you get rid of the maze, you have a good bit of momentum going your way. But then Flanksy just offering himself up for free while he still had a nitro in pocket. Really not the play to go for. And then it just became the Marv difference, as he just had 3 engagements that he was able to win.
I think we saw Flanksy just had like pot noodle on or something. Had to go and get a bit of chicken out the oven. But do you know what? That's what it is. Seems as if Swansea have managed to put himself with the first round up, which realistically didn't deserve, just with the amount of time. All they could have done if you're Warwick is just wait for the players to move in towards the angles. You even had like the dock. I don't think it was Blizzard on the dock, but on that last round, but they were just standing in the middle of the doorway from Geisha and just got completely swung and lost out on the fight.
Yeah. The The Doc was trying to hold a tight angle. Marv just takes advantage of that, swings wide, gets that kill. And then you have a player prone trying to hit shots with an SMG-11 across 2 rooms through a wall. You're just going to have Marv swing and take advantage of you there as well. So, like I say, it's well, like you were saying, even not like I say, it was the intelligence of going into those engagements correctly wasn't quite there in that round for Warwick, because we are going to see these walls get opened up nice and quickly. Having the Thatcher really does speed things up, as that VIP and that double wall is going to get opened on up. Good progress from Swansea so far.
That's the thing, they've done the essentials, the basics in terms of what's going on, because they're going to have to consistently think about that breach, and now the pressure gets put on at the behind flanks. They don't swing it. They're really eager to take these engagements and gift 1 versus 1s to these players. The tradability maybe not in the best situation. Matty does drop one of the EMPs. Here we go, more lines of sight, and I guess the map control lost here for Warwick, although in terms of being lost, Matty being lost for the time being in a DPNO state.
Secret not going to go for the play on that. Maybe aware of the Claymore, maybe just trying to stay smart. As Flanks, he is going to get his head taken off by Die. The ace coming through, able to secure that kill as the revive onto Matty is successful. And despite opening up these exterior walls, everyone from Swansea has gone through towards the Dragon Garden side and is pushing from the interior. No one is going to be outside on the rappels or on the balcony to catch these flanks, as Dr. Chickens is still down below. Does have a nitro cell to maybe go for a last-ditch attempt on the plant. That's a lot of responsibility to put onto one player.
Responsibility adds pressure. You know, pressure makes diamonds, and the diamond of Marv continuously infract and refracted. I don't even know what you want to call it, but certainly finding the kills. Mai gets in on the mix, and now Dr. Chicken's trying to get back. Big C4 misses out. 20 seconds left to get this spike down, and it needs to be done quickly as Dr. Chickens tries to aggress forward, find a way, deny angles, and well, they're only going to be denied their life. Swansea will find round 2, and again, it's just this patience. Patience is a virtue, and well, they are certainly making it work.
Swansea able to, after getting all of their early checklists sorted, just work through the rest of the map and go for these engagements. I think, based off of these 2 rounds, what's been decided from the side of Warwick, because it doesn't feel like they're very cohesive on this map. It feels more like they've gone, we need to play for picks, we need to be aggressive, and where possible, stop the plant from coming through. Hence why we had Dr. Chickens playing around downstairs, hence why we see Flanksy being as aggressive as he is when he doesn't need to be. The call has been made to go for the fight and try and take it to Swansea and not let Swansea control the tempo, and it's not working out for Warwick at the moment. They don't seem to have that understanding of what's going on around them to make that work.
I think what you've seen is pretty spot on an assessment of things, Dino. I mean, you think towards what Swansea are doing, I mean, you think they're the ones just in complete control. Maybe Warwick are a little bit out of their depth, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Maybe this truly is such a Swansea pick that is in their hands, it's in their favour, and that's just the way that they're imposing themselves in towards the matchup. And Warwick right now are struggling ever so slightly to deal with it, considering the fact we have just seen Secret Waste 3 Azami Barricades on drum.
Yeah. It definitely shows a lack of understanding of how to play around the map. I mean, we can see that these Azami Barricades can be very useful. You can hold many different angles, be in much stronger positions than before, but, you know, going for that cheeky one on the side of drum definitely felt like they were just throwing things out and seeing what could happen. As now going to again see Warwick defending over towards VIP and Museum, and a much slower take coming through from Swansea this time. They haven't already gone for those walls. said they're giving Marv a lot of space to go for what he wants to over on this side of the map. The drone's coming on through to gather as much intel as they can.
I think that Swansea can change the pace up on a dime, just completely like have these really fast open the wall takes, but then also be able to be like, you know what? Let's just chill. Let's just see what's happening, see what the reaction, the response are. Shows the maturity and the experience on this roster. Like a lot of these players are moving out of university this year, and I mean that's 4 years of siege that they've been playing and kind of competing against one another, against players that they've probably seen for so long. At this moment in time, though, it seems as if, look at this, look at the cross. As soon as Azami tries to get back, they can't.
Yeah, Dai just needs to hold this one patiently. Secret could, in theory, just throw an extra Kiba out to aid that cross, but it doesn't really matter as Marv is going to hit them with a beautiful nade to secure that kill. And Secret's the only player from the side of Warwick to get any kills so far here in Skyscraper, as Flanksy is once again going to go down early on. Dai this time able to secure that kill, as this 5 versus 3 with 30 seconds left to go is looking increasingly like it's going to be another Swansea round, unless we can get some last second heroics coming through from the side of Warwick.
In terms of what Warwick can do, I was just about to say, it doesn't look as if they'll have much, but you don't even get a chance to speak. You actually don't even get a chance to speak. They completely come through, obliterate everybody on the map, and a flawless round. It's compliments to Swansea at this point. And no offence to Warwick, yes, they brought it down to a kind of a close battle on the first round, but it also felt as if that was because of how reserved they were playing and not because of kind of how well they were playing in a respectful sense.
Yeah, I mean, what you see, even in games where teams are completely outclassed, even in terms of like map knowledge, gunplay, all the rest of it, is that if you have an understanding of how the map goes, you're still able to put kills on the board. You're still able to challenge, and you know, you might get overwhelmed towards the end. Things aren't going to go your way, big picture, but you're at least able to put up a good showing. It really feels like Warwick don't even play this map when it comes up in ranked. And they're just completely caught off guard by everything that's happening around them. And Swansea just need to not get the run of themselves, and this should be quite a straightforward match for them, it feels like, at the moment.
We'll see what goes on, and I mean, what are Warwick looking to change realistically? How is the setup played differently? I mean, Sight being the first one, obviously the fact that that's changed, but still an aggressive style of defense, looking to play away from the utility already set down, and it seems as if Swansea not even looking to attempt to, I guess, approach that top floor in a majority sense, just sending one player up there. Maybe it's going to be a latter kind of thought process. The Valkyrie on the board's interesting. The fact that Blizzard has been allowed, and in fact this operator's been allowed, considering for the first 2 maps, was banned out straight away.
Yeah, that should hopefully give Warwick a good bit of intel. There's lots of big rooms with long lines of sight where you can put those mount cameras, and lots of debris around to really help keep them hidden. But it is going to be Dai once again getting the opening kill here. Dr. Chickens is going to go down, as will the diffuser. The plant being successfully put through by Dai himself. He's going to be able to get on outside that window. The players inside of Geisha supposed to stop the plant in its entirety, just completely pinned down by these angles that have been opened up. Spack and Marv are going to get 1 kill apiece, and now it's just left up to Flanksy. Blizzard had been down, and Flanksy's going to be able to get a kill, but there's the Claymore from Matty to be able to secure one more round on the board for Swansea. And this is feeling a bit like Clubhouse. Are we gonna get a 6-0 half from Swansea once more?
Yeah, with the way that things are going on the attack, it certainly looks likely. A back-to-back maps like this. There's some BM in the chat again, and Swansea 4 and oh man, like heading on towards 5 and 6. I mean, I think like see, do you know what the hard thing is, right? See, when you watch Clubhouse, there was like good things happening. Like you watched the rounds, and we were like, hey, like yo, at least they're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Like the engagements are getting close. Like blah blah blah. Like they come one rounds came down to a 1v1, then it's flip sides, and then you're like, hey, Warwick looked good. Warwick looked as if they like actually could do the exact same as Swansea. And then Swansea take the timeout and they win out. Right? Okay, that. But like when you look towards this, and the fact that we are looking at such a dominant Swansea, and Warwick aren't even saying to themselves, hey guys, maybe we should take a timeout. That's when my questions start to like arise.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the thinking from Warwick was, we know how they play border, we can take them there, that's going to be our map to win. Right, then they go over to Clubhouse and they're like, right, we can be confident on Clubhouse. It's a map that we all know. Then they have to accept defeat. Skyscraper is going to be a map that's a challenge, and they just move on to the next one and try and go from there. But when you've got that kind of weakness or deficit in your strategy, it's always going to come back to bite you. And we saw that from the fact that Clubhouse didn't go their way, and now they're going to be, instead of potentially being 2-1 up, they're going to be 2-1 down, and things are definitely going to be in the favor of Swansea, as Dai, using this also able to work his way on in. The proxy alarm and the smoke is going to force him out, as Spack is actually picked up the Monty here, and looks like we're probably going to see a shield plant going down on a T-room push.
Yeah, just the fact that we are going to see the toxic babe starting to get used up so early isn't the worst thing in the world, but the fact is more so that Swansea are putting on enough pressure that they're having to be used, which obviously we'd want them for later in the round. There is going to be smokes going down though, makes things a little bit harder, trying to deny lines of sight, and Spack's just going to go for it, just send it all in, and look at the crossfires that are already created. Yes, Secret gets marred, but in terms of this post plant, it looks so good for Swansea.
Yeah, the smokes didn't go in deep enough to get Spack, and he was able to put that down successfully. Secret and Blizzard now are the players to fall first from the side of Warwick, as Matthew is going to be good for one more on the flanks. He lost the shots going in from every single direction. It's going to be the Ying on the window to secure it out, as Dr. Chicken's unable to get the stim off, and that's going to be Warwick taking a time out as they are sitting 5-0 down. This is very worrying.
Yeah, there's the Warwick timeout now, but that was a gorgeous round of Rainbow Six, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that like you've got Dai coming in, putting pressure in with the Osa Shield, then on top of that, you've just got Matty actually using the smokes to deny the lines of sight. Matty out on the windows, like you've already got control of Black Stairs, and then they just played crosses, no swings, just waited for players to swing them and take the engagements, and it literally was point and click adventure from that point forward.
I do love it when Siege turns into a point-and-click adventure game. It's just
it's amazing,
so much fun. But
I think like when like see when you see a good plan come together and like you can just appreciate good Siege, you're just like, do you know what, that was nice. It's like when you have a nice steak. Like steak isn't the most amazing meal in the world, but like you add like a little bit of salt in, a little bit of pepper, like it can be a good steak. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. I don't know why you would have a steak without salt and pepper and all the rest of it on it anyway, but you know.
You get what I'm saying.
Things are tough up north, I get it. But as it is, you'll allow it, alright.
Allow it, fam, allow it.
The location of a bomb.
That sounded very different to your normal voice.
Yeah. That was obviously that's my Sunday voice.
That's your Sunday voice, is it?
Yeah. I'm deranged! I'm deranged! Let me out! Let me out! I'm kidding on.
You're gonna have to say this next guy. I can't stop laughing.
Oh man, I love Eric Andre. Anyway, now as we move in towards this one, we are going to see this one's go for a kind of more direct take in terms of the walls. That's what they're prioritising first. Previously, we had seen this before, and then Swansea switching up to the other side of the map and doing the take from there, and kind of going as a unit, working as a unit, and it works really well. Then the last time that this was, or the second time that they attacked it, they prioritised the other side of the map first. And well, when you look towards this, they've already got the wall open, they've got the nades to destroy the bandit wires, and here comes the lines of sight.
Flank C has already lost a lot of health here, but we've not had the jump out from the secret down below. We've not had Flank C just standing in the middle of the breach just yet. Doesn't look like that will come through this time, as it looks like he's been able to get on out of there without the temptation of swinging towards the light coming or overcoming him. As now, minute 45, we do have Dr. Chicken sitting inside of Geisha on that dock. Reinforced walls and utility there to keep him safe and keep that angle down. As Matthew starting to push on in, these goo mines gonna give a lot of intel over to the side of Warwick, as Solaris himself up in a little bit of an interesting position there. Good for one and a drop more than likely, but Marv, of course he's good for one. He's going to get the opening kill, and then the follow-up onto Solaris is traded out by Secret, but player advantage is still in favor of Swansea.
Yeah, they're going to keep this. Oh, maybe not for long. As we have seen, finally, Secret get in on the act. Toggled for the time being and supported by a dot, which can obviously mean that they can get back to full health, get ready for any engagements that does come their way. As for what Swansea want to do, taking the foot off the pedal once again, changed up the pacing, making sure to make Warwick double think about where players are, maybe think about which angles they want to hold, and maybe get some information, some concrete stuff that they can play off of.
And Dr. Chickens is in a really tricky situation here. He's going for a peek behind the box, deals a little bit of damage onto Matty, but with this wall getting opened up in the long lines of sight, he is going to be forced to back on out, and he's actually going to get killed by Spack while trying to retreat. Now it's 3 versus 2. Blizzard only with one more. Toxic Babe in pocket. Secret with that 1.5, trying to go for a long gunfight. Deals a decent amount of damage onto Matty, who then just runs on in and gets eliminated by Blizzard, and there's no time left. It looks like Dai is going to be able to get the kill onto Blizzard, as Spack is trying to go for the plant, but the angle might be available for Secret to take advantage of, but it's not. He probably could have shot him through the underside of the sofa, but the ace of Dai coming through. Ace the operator, not Ace the 5 kills, is gonna come through and win the round there for Swansea, as they're now once again sitting 6-0 up, moving into the switch with just one round needed to walk away with the map win.
That's why he's called Dyko Jordan. That's my goat. Coming in with at least one kill. No, only joking. Now, switch to the half now. 6-0 towards Swansea. There's nothing in terms of margin for error. We've already spoke about this. We've already kind of emphasised the stakes and stuff like that. We've seen Skyscraper fall towards an attacking bias before. We wouldn't be surprised if it comes up again and Warwick can start to replicate what Swansea were able to do. Whether that is the case, again, big question marks. We don't know. I mean, you look towards the kind of the operator comp that they're bringing through. Honestly, my vocabulary will be all over the place tonight. But things do look pretty interesting. The zero coming through from Blizzard to kind of help control with information and flanks. Yes, it's not a hard flank control, but it certainly will be the kind of soft flank control that you need in terms of information. Solaris going to help out with the breach stuff. And now Dr. Chicken's bringing a buck, so I mean, maybe we might see a little bit of a three-dimensional take with the fact that the buck going below and kind of trying to, I guess, leverage pressure onto towards this defensive side.
I mean, potentially. I feel that the value that you get from going below on this site, especially now that you've got the open drop by drum, is lost. You from where it was before, you could maybe get enough utility out of it to really warrant bringing a buck, but at this point, with the state of the operators, the state of the map, I still think that a sledge is probably the best bet here. The nades is going to give you that additional help to get rid of anything off the walls from down below. And it's, I am a huge Buck fan, but this to me is not. This is a comfort pick. You know, there are several players on this team that are 0-6 at the moment, so they might just be going, I'm going to pick whatever I can shoot with.
Yeah, I mean, isn't the worst decision in the world, especially considering the high fire rate and I mean how good Buck used to be. And Flanksy, unfortunately, not watching his own flank, lets that one happen. Die already out, takes out the hard breach, and things get even tougher because the whole point and the whole linchpin of this take is that wall in towards Tea Room. And let's be honest, you know, that's going to be tough to open now.
Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible. They do still have Blizzard with the secondary hard breach gadget, so there is a potential if they're able to gain lots of control to open up a small little bit. But it's going to be a challenge to get to that stage as drones are coming through to try and gain some intel, but with Marv still down below, there's a lot of potential for things to go very wrong here for Warwick.
Well, it seems as if Die is still sticking around, and I think they're just holding on from below. Maybe going to think about throwing up a cheeky C4. Oh, Marv. You know that there's no one on that drone because Flanksy's too busy watching Blizzard right now. Too busy watching the POVs of the players. And is now starting to creep up. Oh, God. You can just see it and watch unfold in front of your eyes. Maybe not.
Maybe an audio call, maybe a quick switch onto the drone by someone else, but that's going to be the intel given. That's going to be Marv eliminated. Player count tied up, but it's a 4-4, 25 seconds less than to go. Solaris is going to be able to get the kill onto Matthew, but the immediate trade's coming back and forth. Matthew's good for one, Blizzard's good for another, and now it's just left up to Die in a 1 versus 3. Gets it down onto Secret. The plant is starting to come on through. Die doesn't have a C4 available. Blizzard's actually even going to plant on top of the table to completely negate that. With the rotation up the stairs, he sees the player on top of the table. He doesn't take the shots when he has the opportunity to through the wall. And that's going to give Dr. Chickens the opportunity to secure that kill. They were going for the revive as the plant was happening. There was no cover in place. If he'd seen him on the table, he absolutely could have won that round.
Oh, goodness gracious me, you know. Goodness gracious me. Usually that's reserved for moments in which I cannot explain, and it's a default for me, but I have no words for what's just happened. Do you know what? At the end of the day, good first round for Warwick. I think that's the thing that we have to focus on here. Whether or not Die is blind as a bat or deaf as a badger, I don't even know if that's a saying, but point I was going to say is Warwick have got around. They have finally got themselves on the board, and they have stopped themselves from being 7-0'd. Now it's about the next round, but it's going to be a completely different site for them. They are going to be attacking in towards VIP and Exhibition, I think that's what it's called. I think that's the official name. I'm trying to stick to the Sunday names right now. Anyway, point I'm trying to make is the fact that Swansea are trying to keep things up so that Warwick can implement the same strategy and go for something similar. So Swansea go, oh, okay, like let's switch it up here. Now it's all up to Warwick and how they approach this. If they do kind of go for a much more slower take, which I don't think would be a bad thing either.
Yeah, I just want to hark back to your previous point. Badgers actually have very acute hearing and an excellent sense of smell. So our badger's deaf. That's if you come away with no other knowledge of anything, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that you've learned today is that badgers have very good hearing.
As Lemmy would say, that's a no.
Right, well, Lemmy aside, we're getting on into this next round, and Matthew is just going to get the kill onto Secret. The one consistent bright spot from the side of Warwick is going to be off the board immediately, and more importantly, that's 2 frag grenades off the board as well to make this all the more difficult for Warwick to be able to keep this game going.
Oh, God. It just... Well, utility lost, and nonetheless, Die puts the pressure on from... Oh, okay. Has went for a 3-pointer, and Dyko Jordans, I believe that was, and unfortunately for that, has hit the rim.
Look more like an airball to me, but you know, it is going to be. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. We're seeing Swansea in a very dominant position right now, but that could come back to bite them. There's going to be Blizzard to get the kill onto Marv. That's going to be the smoke gone. Did deal a lot of damage onto Blizzard, but wasn't able to get the kill, as now Warwick are getting some good control over towards the west side of the map, going for a cross take towards the objective itself. Die now down below, desperately wishing that he still had his C4 in pocket to probably deny anything coming through drum, but it's not going to be the case. Gonna have to wait to see if these players expose themselves through this little line of sight here. As a minute to go on the clock. Warwick are in a pretty decent position to get something going out of this round, but not anymore, as Matthew's able to go on the flank and get the kill onto Flanksy.
Look at this. Look at the way the Swansea have the kind of protocols. As soon as we saw that pick being taken, straight away we saw the Solaris and Matty going to kind of set up a crossfire. Now look at this. Warwick have to go straight towards the site. I mean, we are going to see Spike just completely scarf on knowing exactly what's coming their way. But Swansea, the protocols, the way that they've approached this has been perfect. And now it's all about what they can do. Not a lot. One player left. It's Solaris, and it's just been a complete assault to their position. 7-1 the scoreline on Skyscraper. Swans beat Swansea's pick as all traffic in their favour.
Yeah, not really a whole lot to break down there, I feel, for us. As it was a one-sided map from start to finish. We see that Warwick really didn't seem to have a handle on what was going on, and at points it didn't feel like there was anyone on the server playing against Swansea. It felt almost like dry runs. And that is going to give Swansea a one-map advantage here, meaning that if they're able to win the next map, they will walk away with the victory. And the next map is going to be Oregon Cairo, so you'd have to possibly throw that one towards Swansea.
You could throw it towards Swansea, especially with the way that Clubhouse went. As an even no matter who you favour, no matter who you think is better, both teams should know how to play this map. Both teams should be coming in on even footing. Again, it comes down to that basics and who has the better. Whether that truly is Swansea, I think it will be decided after this map.
But we are going to be going to a quick break before we get onto our fourth and potentially final map of the evening. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here for the Rainbow Six Siege Grand Finals. We are staring down map number 4. Swansea is sitting up at a 2-1 advantage, and Cairo, we're going to everyone's favorite. It's Oregon.
Yay! That's what I'm giving it. No, I'm excited for it. I'm actually excited for it because you look towards this map. Both teams have already played probably one of the most fundamentally basic maps in the whole pool. That being that clubhouse, in terms of like what you have to do in terms of clearing, opening walls, like holding angles, etc. It's the whole shebang. Then we move towards Oregon, which is the exact same thing but in America rather than in Germany. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been an absolute staple for Siege. One of the maps that like actually is I guess you could say iconic for anybody that has watched Siege over the past 3 years and perhaps have a little bit of PTSD from the 22nd meta. You know, especially I know you do. You know, you just had the flashback like behind the eyes of watching of having to waffle for about 2 minutes 40.
Yeah, lots of waffle that has been had on Oregon, I'll tell you that much. But in terms of how the maps work and within this series, yes, Clubhouse, like you say, one of the big 3, one of the big fundamental maps where you've got to do all of the basics. You've got to hold your angles, your rotations, your timings, yada, yada, yada. The other side of this is that Oregon is a much more condensed version of that. And we saw the smallest map in the pool get played earlier, and that went to all 15 rounds. So with a smaller map being played, and again, a basic map that both teams should have a stronger understanding of, do you think that this is going to lend into another long map? Are we going to be getting essentially another 15 rounds, or do you think this could end up being another 6-0 start for Swansea?
I think that this will not be another 6-0 start for Swansea. I think it will be 2 full 2 halves with an OT and Swansea winning at 2-0 and OT. That's what I think.
That's really specific.
I've been leaked the script. Where I said.
Oh, you've been given the script. Oh, okay, right. That explains it then. But we are going to be getting on into. Oh, he's finding the script, is he?
Yeah. Wait a second. Just bring it up. Look, watch. Yeah, that was a terrible attempt. I'm so sorry. People never even saw it on camera. It was just me and you. That's the worst part. It was just me and you.
Oh, well, as always, next time we are going to be getting into the operator bans, and it is going to be everyone's favorite attacking operator to get rid of at the moment. It's going to be Nook, who has really been picked on by a lot of these teams here.
I think, do you know what it is? It's just such a pain. It's like, do you know what it is? It's like when you have, like when you're on your phone and you're texting your pals and you've got your little brother like tugging at your t-shirt, like, can I play a game on your phone? And you're like, bro, I'm trying to text my friends, I'm trying to organize like a night out with the boys to go and watch like the new Magic Mike movie or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like it's all. This is what we're seeing, and Nook is that annoyance that just has to be getting rid of.
An oddly specific set of circumstances that happened there, but you know, I'll allow it as we are seeing the rest of these bans play out. Flores, of course, getting removed. So much utility that he has, and as well being on Oregon, lots of drone holes, lots of sneaky spots so you can get those drones into to destroy shields and other bits of utility. The Kaid has been just a staple ban of Warwick throughout the day. They've not allowed that one to go on through. And then the Valkyrie coming through this time for Swansea, making sure that things are less intel available for the defense, and Swansea is going to be starting out on the defense, going upstairs to the kids' dormitory and main hall, and they're going to be bringing out the Azami to start things off.
Yeah, everything else is pretty much standardized at this point. You would be.
Defenders, protect your
I don't think you'd be too surprised to see, like. I think the surprising part would be like not seeing any others. I mean, I guess you could like sub in a Valkyrie here or there. I mean, Mira would be probably the biggest of surprises. I don't really know. When you look towards this 5 don't surprise me at all. Marv is setting up for an aggressive, I guess, kind of hold in towards master bedroom, even supporting with utility. The only worry for me there is how you could easily bank shot a nade off of the window just outside of main. I guess that's my worry. Really expansive here from Swansea, and if it's this expansive, it could easily topple like a house of cards, depending on how things go.
And we are going to be seeing how things go as the round is getting underway. Looks like there is going to be a decent amount of pressure coming on in through Master, and then the little bit of pressure being applied on into Attic. Of course, we've got the Maverick being brought, but Dai isn't sitting behind a reinforced wall inside of the Attic hallway. He's being aggressive inside of the big tower with 2 reinforcements in pocket. They definitely could close this up later, but it's likely that he's going to want to try and get this kill onto the Maverick before he does that.
Maverick going to be a big pickup here. Obviously not dissuaded by any sort of that hard breach denial, although there is only Matty realistically on the side of Swansea that can deny any sort of hard breach. Solaris and Flanksy really looking to try and get things done here, but it's just a waste of time. And it is the angle in through. Oh my god. Do you know, I do not like this. I do not like this at all. There's a full panel being opened up in towards games, and on top of that, I mean, we've already seen the fact that Marv's already had to drop off. This could pretty much go wrong at any moment in time.
Yeah, typically there's a big part of the back and forth of the round is trying to get this master bedroom wall open. The fact that Swansea started the round off with it open to try and catch Warwick off guard is unorthodox and unusual, if not slightly concerning as well, as we are going to see the rest of the take start to come on through from Warwick. It's going to be Secret to get the opening kill here, getting Marv off the board. As, like I say, with that games wall open, they're able to push on into Trophy and get a lot of control from here.
It's not only that though, it's the fact that, like, I mean, fair enough if you start with it open, don't hate it, like, if you're gonna just come back in, or like go for a couple shots, come back in, reinforce it, whatever, right? That's fine. But like, it's the fact that they've not been able to like reinforce it that puts Swansea in such a bad spot. I mean, on top of that, I think like the way that Warwick are setting up right now, they've set up so well, the crossfire's there, there's already players ready to cut things off in terms of, look at how Dr. Chickens had set up, the shotgun, no, trades it back even. Now as they look to try and get in through big window, Matty going to be the biggest bastion of defence there. And time ticking away, 25 seconds, Warwick have let time slip.
There's nothing to give Matty that information that there's going to be another one coming in from down below. Matthew's going to be good for 2 and deals a lot of damage. Dai is going to be there to get the 3rd. Now it's just Blanksy left alone, 1 versus 3, and despite the low HP on all the players on the side of Swansea, it's going to be the pistol from Matty to secure the round there. The hip fire pistol, oh my days. As right, that looks really good for a moment from Warwick, and then it didn't.
Yeah, again, let's go back to the steak analogy. It was like, literally, you've got it, medium, like medium rare, you're buzzing, the chips are sizzling, and then this pan just goes on fire.
Are you hungry at all?
Maybe, perhaps.
Okay, because you're making me very hungry.
Listen, Dino, me and you, we can go for a Five Guys after this.
Sounds good to me.
Other restaurants are available.
Yeah, other fast food burger chains are available for your choosing. But we are going to be seeing a downstairs defense coming through from Swansea, and we're actually going to see Dai picking up the mirror. not banned.
10 seconds.
So, you know, there is always the option, but typically you don't see a lot of mirror on Oregon these days.
You don't really see, like, obviously because Mira gets is such commonly banned from like the low stages, and then I think as you get towards the higher stages, she isn't like used that much. Like, I think like we're just so used to not seeing Mira, and people are so used to not playing her that sometimes they just prefer not to. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's kind of unfortunate. Just misses out there on the old C4, and well, Warwick are able to keep all 5.
Yeah, that could have been an absolutely massive C4 if it had landed, but Marv missed, and wasted utility from Swansea is going to keep Warwick in a strong position here, as they are going to go for a heavy big tower clear. The drones are coming on through. Marv still staying aggressive over towards the stairs, and as soon as I say that, of course, that means he's going to back off towards Pillar and not do what I say, as Die actually is going to be aggressive on the stairs, waiting to see if there's any sort of push. There is one more roamer coming through from the side of Swansea. That's Matthew over and towards the kitchen area. Could catch Warwick off guard if the drones don't go through far enough, but it looks like Solaris has got an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, it really does. And as we hear a nice little reminder that Nomad has started to gain control of the map, the air jabs being placed. I think this is a massive part for Warwick here, but relying on these air jabs is where I get concerned, because I mean, we've seen air jabs kind of glitch out before where you're able to like half peek underneath them. We really need to see Warwick put themselves in a spot where at least one player is very close to reacting, or at least clearing out that side of the map, considering there was a player in towards kitchen, which I believe was Matthew. And yeah, there you go.
Able to get the kill onto Blizzard. Looks like he impacted the wall between kitchen and meeting and just went for the peak, knowing that the player was coming from above the hatch. Obviously, being a roamer with those 2 impacts available doesn't mean that he can deal with those Nomad air jabs, but smoke's coming through, Candela's going through, Toxic Babe's being deployed inside of Electrical, but no one's rushing on in with these Candelas. Flanksy and Dr. Chickens are still deep outside of blue, but it is going to be Dr. Chickens to get the kill onto Marv. Secret gets the frag kill onto Matty, but Spack close range with the shotgun takes down Solaris, and all of the Candelas have been used and very little space has been gained. Dr. Chickens and Secret are going to chime on in and get kills apiece, putting us now into a 1 versus 3. 30 seconds left to go. Matthew inside of Freezer is going to be able to create a rotate for himself with that second impact nade, but Secret holding down the long angle with the 1.5 is going to be able to secure that kill. And I wasn't that was a stressful take from Swansea.
Yep, it literally was. It was the kitchen sink flung at them, and then I don't even know where the kitchen sink went. I went all the way through, and like the next wall as well. And I mean, do you know what? Warwick, while they had the kitchen sink flung at them, they dealt with it. They slung it back, and yeah, now the house has got a lot of holes with a lot of walls with holes in the form of sinks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say. That they threw 4 Candelas to take blue.
Yeah,
it wasn't great. And what they did win the round.
They did, and also to gain blue, there was a total of 6 people lost in that engagement.
Yeah.
So, take from that what you will, people. It was an interesting one. Goes to show how important blue is in terms of the whole of Oregon.
10 seconds left before
Yeah,
insertion.
an absolute scrap going on there just for that small bit of space.
5 seconds
But
left before
like I
insertion.
say, Warwick were able to come out on top. They were able to get the kill. Dr. Chicken doing a great shift in that round, getting 2 very important picks. Gonna tie this one up at 1-1. So your prediction came true. It's not going to be a 6-0 half for Swansea. But it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this half plays out.
Alright, well, it seems as if there is a couple of server issues, but both teams want to play on here, so that's a good thing, you know, perseverance is the, I don't even know, what is it they say, do you know what? I'm not even going to try and go in towards sayings because I'll probably butcher it like I do most things. Matty being a solo hold on site means that there probably will be a fair few people upstairs in towards attic to try and deny, which I guess makes sense because Warwick will have to prioritise at least denying the hatch control for Swansea, because then they'll be able to go and use that hatch in attic to deny any plant attempts in that whole area.
Yeah. Oh. Walls are reinforced. Mute jammers, I presume, will be on them to deny easy access. There are mute jammers as well on this lower wall, and the angle has been opened up to prevent easy access for the offensive team into the lower part of Big Tower, as Dye's going to lose a lot of HP. The Goyo trap, the friendly device going off next to him, is going to take away most of his health, as Blizzard has been able to successfully open up this attic wall, give them that line of sight, take control of the hatch away from the defense. With a minute 15-ish to go, Warwick are set up nicely, but they haven't really done much to dislodge the actual players on site, and that's what happens. Secret is going to get damaged and then destroyed by that Nitro Cell. Dye's going to swing on round and get a one with Blizzard and get sprayed out immediately by Dr. Chickens, as Marv's going to jump out and get the kill onto Flanksy. It's now just a 2 versus 4, Dr. Chickens and Solaris up against the world.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I don't even know what you call it, this kind of stalemate. There's going to be the nade to be dropped right at the feet of the alibi, but they have an alibi to get out. That was a terrible joke, I know, I'm sorry. But with that being said, oh my god, Marv get flung against the wall there. We're in a 3 versus 2, 30 seconds left. I mean, realistically, right, if you win against at least 2 of these players, I mean, plant can be attempted, but with 20 seconds left, I mean, still trying to attempt to get in towards the whole positions, maybe not an idea. Down green, there's a Mossberg shotgun waiting. The bullet's not quite hitting, and they can get into the site. This is magic for Warwick, and they have full control of the kitchen area. Now a retake has to be attempted by Swansea.
Attackers active.
Matty pushes on in, is able to get the kill onto Solaris, but Dr. Chickens is off the plan in time, and now it's Matthew versus the Sledge? The Thatcher, to be able to secure that round. Caught me off guard. They were able to actually somehow get that plant down and hold the post plant. Green being lost, like you say, that shotgun from the smoke just not hitting. The shot's not landing at all, and that's all it takes for Warwick to be able to sneak on in, get that advantage, and go for the plant. Swansea shaken early, going for a timeout already.
Makes sense. 2 rounds in which the initial advantage has been taken by Swansea, and then moving into the latter stages of that round, out on key engagements, misuse of utility. I mean, the fact that like the shotgun misses there, it's not the missing of the shots that's bad. It's the fact that there's no backup there. The fact that there's 1v1s gifted. I mean, Matty comes through, brings it down to a 2v1, immediately traded. But I mean, there's so many points in that round that you could say, oh, that could be like played so much better. So yeah, that is what it is. Warwick now pretty buzzing. Got a bee in the bonnet, I guess you could say. But it's whether Swansea can now start to pull and claw things back.
I would be interested to know if in that last round there was a mute jammer on that attic wall, because if there was, that was a very good play from Warwick to go for it. If there wasn't, Swansea, what are you doing? Sort of basically how that one goes. But as they are going to be going back up towards the kids' dormitory and main dormitory, we are going to see the same setup coming through from Swansea that we saw before. The extension now into attic, the game's wall, one half being left reinforced, one half being opened up by SPAC shotgun, going to give them similar kind of play as previous, and it did work out for them, but based off of a very big play from Matthew.
Okay, well, in top terms of how this take is progressing, the small tower. I mean, we've not really seen that being approached by Warwick just yet. Oh my god, well, I just had the fear just in case they missed the balcony. I don't know if it's just me and kind of from my ranked games, but that's just honestly straight away was like, oh god, surely not. A couple of bullets being fired towards top main as we saw the Jaeger aggress, but Die just looking to support. Still nothing's been actually Big Tower still hasn't been attempted yet, hasn't even got any pressure towards it, and Die can just still chill towards this area.
They can definitely still be a menace as there is a lot of pressure coming through from Swansea downstairs. Two players here, Matthew and Matty down below. Flanksy and Solaris are the ones sent to try and clear this out. The shotgun of Matty inside of security can be used to deny any jump-ins through big window. Matthew there with the rotate to assist. And the more time that they can burn, the better that this is going to be. But it's going to be Secret to get the opening kill of the round, taking down Marv. Thanks in part due to that wall being opened up. Die, like you mentioned, is still over inside of Attic. Is going to deal a little bit of damage, but not quite enough as Flanks is going to get the frag onto Matthew down below. Die is going to drop, but only after losing a lot of HP. Now has to try and come in and take up the space that was previously held by his teammate. And Flanks is aware for it. The C4 goes on out, doesn't find anything, but it is going to be Die at distance to get that kill.
In fact, the Die gets that trade. Now, it's still 3 versus 4. Swansea again, still having to fight back in towards this round, but we've seen things go awry before, and maybe it's going to happen this time. It does. Oh my god, it's a loop to loop. They've not even found one another, and oh god, unfortunately it's back on default. The rest of the players are there. How has this happened twice in a row? It's the second time attacking the top floor site that things have been thrown awry. It's been thrown to the wind, and I mean, Warwick have just had it thrown back in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening really, because they get the control of Master and Trophy and they go for the push in, and then they just
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
can't
defused
consolidate
by
their
attackers.
control over games. Swansea are able to play so aggressively and up in their face as the execute starts to come on through, so they're able to capitalize off of that, and Warwick don't really have an answer for it just yet. We are seeing some strong performances coming through. Dr. Chickens and Secret, 8 kills and 6 kills respectively on the side of Warwick, a much better showing than we've seen really out of anyone from the side of Warwick in the last 2 maps.
10 seconds left.
And Warwick, how do they approach this? I mean, last time
Attackers objective is
I was thinking towards the blue take there, and Swansea realistically when they okay, they started off with a C4 last time. This time though, oh that's unfortunate. Marv has just been found out and having been forced to drop off. Doesn't want to over-aggress too much, but I was just going to say that the engagement in towards blue, maybe we're going to see a much more reserved Swansea, but I don't think that's the case considering I think there's at least 4 players off site.
We do have Flanksy once again on the Ying. So let's see if the Candelas get used a tad more sparingly, as this big tower control is being taken by Warwick. Secret's already starting to get pressure on it into Attic. The drone's going to go on up. The hatch is open to allow for a rotate, and Matty on the Solace is going to be spotting out that drone, waiting for it to push through, but it's just being left in a flank watch position for the time being.
Yep, picked up by Matty and already dropping off. You look towards the control and what Swansea have here. They know that what Warwick want to do is prioritise the meeting area. I mean, this is where Matthew was able to get aggressive and find picks last time. Die finds it this time with the air jabs going down, but we've already seen how things can go awry. Maybe even one more pick to be found by Swansea. They found out about the smoke of Spack just hiding in towards the corner, trying to play that aggressiveness. But when you look towards what's left of the map, I mean, Warwick, they have the control of what they want to do, but there's still left a lot up to a question.
Yeah, they don't know the position of Dine. Matty, they were aware that there was one up above. They haven't consolidated entirely where he is. He is actually back downstairs in the basement. It's not going to be an existential threat to the Warwick attack just yet, but all this utility going down in blue once again. Here come the Candelas. The smokes from both sides have been deployed. Marv was the first to die in this position last time. Is going to be the first to die yet again as Blizzard this time just unimpeded walks down the tower stairs. Matty immediately with trade onto Blizzard. 4 versus 3. Solaris far away from his teammates, though. This is going to be very beneficial for the defenders of Swansea. Spack with the shotgun at close range could do so much damage as Dr. Chickens is forced to push on forwards. The shot's going to come on through from Matthew, and he just swings a drive-by coming through to secure the kills, and Matthew getting all 3 at the end there to give Swansea round number 5 and a 3-2 lead here on Oregon. Why is it always a hip fire? Why is it always a hit fire from Matthew?
BM, I guess
Probably.
my prediction was... Oh, maybe my prediction isn't wrong yet. I said a 4-2-1/2. I did say a 4-2-1/2. Swansea win the next one, and I'm on to a winner. And then we need a 4-2-1/2 from Warwick. But that's for another day. Meeting the whole kitchen next. And I think this was defended pretty decently by Swansea up until the point where it was the last, 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Matthew losing a lot of HP there. And friendly fire on during the prep phase in competitive as setup coming on through. Castle barricades really being focused over towards the kitchen side of the map to slow down any potential take coming from there or any potential players going for an individual push. But last time we did see basically all 5 of Warwick stack up around Big Tower.
Yeah, I mean, do you know something? Do you know the worst thing about that take is? It's not even the worst take in the world, because realistically, all you really need to do is, 1, set up to deny the hatch or an attic. Second part is set up to deny green. Third part is gain control of site. And how you do all those things can all be done from Big Tower. And it's not even the worst take in the world that Warwick did there. It's just about how they change things up.
And not seeing a mute at all this time around. So once again, this attic wall is going to get opened up for free. Nothing from Swansea in place to deny it. Matty got a lot of value being in this position in the previous round. Was able to get a couple downs, deal a lot of damage, and give the calls when people were pushing on through. So give him a shield and tell him to do it again. Seems fair enough to me. Yep, there goes the attic wall. Shields and were my discs there to delay a push through, but it doesn't look like that's what Warwick wants to do.
A couple of bullets just going straight. Oh, here we go. A nice little impact grenade just to destroy the Osa shield. I think it missed actually. And it looks as if Solaris is trying to maybe stick it up a little bit more aggressively. Yep, does so. Come on, place the shield down. Make my statement correct. Thank you very much, Solaris. But downstairs, more importantly, was the fact that we actually seen the wall being opened. Solaris actually baited out that second impact grenade, so this shield will stay down permanently. This is pretty big here right now, but the fact that the diffuser still hasn't made its way towards site means that Warwick obviously still have a lot of clearing to do, and they can do so with the fact that they have nades and pockets.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's any drones from Warwick downstairs in the basement, as Matty was considering going for a flank over towards the bottom side of Big Tower, but backs away from it and doesn't commit, as all 5 of these players from Warwick are stacked on over in the same direction. They really have to start thinking about going for the take soon, as they have been able to open up the wall. Secret opens up that door, which means that Matty has been forced away from his position over on the stage to deny the line of sight, and Blizzard just goes for the run across the breach, is able to get away with it. And looks like it's going to be another push coming through green. The smoke canisters are going to come on through. Solaris losing a little bit of health there, and an engagement upstairs as Die is going to be holding down Mouse 1. 81 bullets going towards that doorway. The run comes on through. Blizzard is going to be going for the plant, and the smoke canisters aren't going to be doing any damage to it, or at least not enough damage. Matthew's there to get the kill onto Solaris. Die trades out one, but it's Blizzard immediately back with the kill onto Matthew, and back with another kill, this time onto Die. Matty coming on the flank is good for one more. Now it is just Flanksy left alone. 1 versus 2, no air jabs left available. Diffuser just in reach. They can try and go for this. Flanksy is so far away. He jumps on it in, lots of damage going back and forth, but it's going to be Marv. The MX4 Storm is able to deal enough damage, and that's going to be Swansea getting that 4-2 half like you said.
Well, that makes me look pretty good. GC Peeps, Matty says. GC Peeps, indeed. That was pretty close. I mean, I can't believe that, but it's the fact that, I mean, that we see the diffuser go down completely, like, without losing any HP on the thermite. It looks good for a second. We go to 2v2, but the players just disconnected from the Warwick side, and Swansea capitalise on that completely. You know what? The fact that things have turned out that way is just the chaos of the post plant that Warwick have lost out on. The fact that we've actually seen a player being able to move from one side of Attic to the other without being contested is tough. Or even if there was a contest, like someone that didn't go to trade a kill that happened there, it's hard. And sometimes that's just the kind of where the experience comes through. Switch of the half. This is the second part of it. Like, how do you deal with the pressure? You're on kind of match and map point against Swansea. They're up 4-2. You now move on to your defensive side. I guess it's all about that confidence and how you look to set up yourselves for this this next half of Siege.
But if you had to pick any map, any sort of side in the entire pool at the moment, being in this situation, defense on Oregon is probably the best that you could hope for. It's a map that you know, it's a defense that is consistent. The takes and, you know, offensive maneuvers aren't going to be anything too crazy. You should be able to predict what's going to come your way. It's as good as it can get for Warwick. So it really does come down to which team is the better team here. Not just which teams prep the map, but who, as a unit, is deserving of being the Newell Spring 2023 champions.
That's what it's about. Crowning that champion. Matthew looking to find a kill. Look at this crossfire setup. The mute jammer denying the information. Massive. I mean, Dr. Chickens can know that they're safe. The only problem being here... Oh, no. Solaris is going to play... This is going to be horrible. The Sledge, unknown to what's going on, and plays the trigger finger. And Dino, it's easy as that.
Yeah. No drones coming through and holding onto lobby and the main stairs is going to make things difficult. But Matty on that Twitch with the DMR is going to be good for the kill onto flank scene. He's going to be now taking control over top floor. As it looks like the players from Warwick, after getting their initial engagements, getting that player advantage, they've all just gone right back to site. Not going to do anything stupid with this now.
3 versus 4. The players now looking to consolidate, play together. Blizzard still not moved in from blue. Does kind of make me question that, but with that being said, I mean, you look towards what Swansea and the kind of pressure that they're holding or trying to exude, it is going to be towards the laundry and freezer side of things, although they certainly are looking to almost cover every inch of this map, this time being as the Twitch look goes in towards the site and gets rid of some utility. 35 seconds left, and there's still time to find information, find where the key gunfights should be taken, and maybe where you can isolate a 1 versus 1.
Matthew maybe using that Twitch drone there to bait the shots coming through to maybe give him a little bit more of an angle, but that's not going to work. It's going to be secret good for 1. Solaris is going to be able to get the kill onto Spack in response, and now it's Marv coming in through blue. So very close to being able to get the kill or free onto Solaris, but with 10 seconds left to go, that isn't going to happen. Just going to have to swing on through, takes some damage from the barrier, and gets traded out by Secret immediately after that. As first round, defense downstairs Oregon, as expected, goes the way of the defender.
Not the worst. Not the worst in the world. And do you know what? Bottom floor site. You just you kind of have to get it on with it. Warwick already with the best foot forward, being the first one, and they set themselves off on an old beaten track that every team is used to. Kids and Dorms next, Dorms main hall, and you think also towards what Swansea are looking to do at the very minimum. They'll look to win out the tertiary sites. If they win out this round, everything gets flown in the air, it gets thrown in the air in terms of what sites we expect them to win, blah blah blah. But yeah, now it's all up to kind of Swansea to take it on their bats, because right now Warwick are doing the basics of defence and just holding angles and taking the picks that are given to them.
Absolutely. I think if Swansea are able to win this round, like you say, it throws everything up in the air as to what rounds you're expected to win and all the rest of it, but it would very firmly set the momentum in Swansea's favour.
5 seconds left.
It would apply so much pressure onto Warwick, because instead of it being one round to tie it up, you've got to get 2 rounds to tie it up, and if you lose those 2 rounds, well, you lose the entire series. You know, you don't get a shot at map 5 because you didn't win one more of the earlier ones. So a lot riding here to establish the momentum for both of these teams to maybe predict how this finals is going to go. But early days, the round's only just started, but 2.5 minutes of action to see what the outcome will be.
Okay. There is going to be the pressure immediately pushed in towards Attic, and that's going to have to push one of the players off of the angle that was holding in towards meeting. Pretty decent stuff, and now Solaris has to, or can no longer play in a position that I guess contests him towards that master bedroom area that he was just pointed to on the camera. And Matthew still in Armory, but look at Flanksy just holding on towards, waiting to kind of play a little bit of an upset as there's waiting for maybe someone to go in the repel of games window. It's not to be, and the pressure that Swansea are actually pushing on towards this site is really making Warwick squirm. We can see them checking almost every angle already. We're seeing a player move all the way from that kind of I believe it was like the classroom position all the way through to go on towards White, and Matthew's there to collect. Good stuff here. Warwick's starting to squirm even more so.
And this may be the second most favourable side. Oh, Matthew with the timing. And he's actually going to lose that fight on the repeat die elsewhere, though have been able to get the kill onto Solaris. So still player advantage in favour of Swansea as the Yin Candelas are going to start to come through. Blizzard inside of the objective is going to be feeling a lot of the hurt as Secret is down below. Die opening up that classroom window, going to be going onto the repel. If this gets called out, Secret could really do a lot of damage here, but it's not going to be the case just yet, as Dr. Chickens is concerned about so many angles at once. He really can't do anything here other than hope for the best, as Secret might actually be unknown for the moment, but Die is coming on a flank. Marv on side of the objective is going to be able to get the kill onto Secret, and now is Dr. Chickens really praying for his life. Is good for the kill onto the Capital. Matty there with the immediate trade onto Blizzard, and now it's all left up to this Wamai stuck at the top of White Stairs. Diffuser is down inside of games, but it's a 1 versus 3 Cairo, and the time is running away from him.
Yeah, time's slowly starting to tick down. Dr. Chickens really has to get a move on. I mean, considering 7 seconds of that has to be dedicated towards a diffuser, Matty unfortunately dedicates his time to taking out the last remaining player. Now, Swansea keeping that gap extended back towards 2 between the teams. If things keep going the way they are, then yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. Kids, Dorms, and Dorms main hall going to be attempted one more time. And yeah, Warwick obviously straight away identifying maybe some faults, maybe something that they played wrong, and looking to correct those mistakes moving in towards this round. I imagine that's why they're choosing this site again. Rather than going towards a tertiary where maybe they're not so confident.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really, in my mind, too much wrong with what Warwick did in terms of their defense, in terms of their setup. It is just an incredibly small site with very destructible floors where a lot of pressure can be applied onto. And unless you're going to go for a very different and more proactive defense, something slightly closer to what we saw from Swansea, you're going to be feeling that pressure when a coordinated team starts really amping it up onto you in these rounds.
That's the thing. I mean, it's not even as if, like, again, this is the crazy thing about Swansea. When you watch them, right, they don't do anything crazy. Like, it's not as if you're seeing a 1-2 like buckle my shoe, like, you know what I mean? It's not like a big like, you know, the point I'm trying to say is, like, there's not like really anything crazy happening.
Yeah.
They just like they just destroy utility, kind of get drones in, flash, like, and then push players in towards angles that they're already holding. There's not a lot of swinging happening from them. It's more like almost kind of like, I don't know, you ever like remember when like you're in the bath and like you push the water forward and the water gets pushed forward, like, you know what I mean? It's like pressure. I don't know. I'm terrible at like anecdotes.
Analogies?
Yes, same thing.
Sure. But as we are a minute into this round, Swansea, if they win here, they go on to match point, series point, grand finals point, and Matthew doing his best to try and start it off right as he goes for the swing on round. Deals a lot of damage onto Solaris, isn't able to secure the kill, and the trade from Dr. Chickens is, well, about an equal amount of HP taken away from him in response, as neither side able to get that opening pick. Actually, I say that Spack has died somewhere. Didn't see where that one had happened, but it's definitely going to make things easier for Warwick.
It's all about. It's all about, well, I guess Warwick now just holding fast and waiting for Swansea to push them. I mean, minute and 10 seconds left, and realistically, Warwick have most things, I guess, watched. I guess Swansea need to watch what doors they're walking through already. And with a minute left, they're wasting more time having to pick players up than actually do the work that they need to do. It's going to be forced, and it really is going to be that the kind of, I guess, the upper hook or whatever you want to call it, the uppercut approach. They're going to have to send things forward, fling the kitchen sink, and hope it sticks, because with Warwick, I mean, they're just holding the crosses and the toxic babes are doing the work. God, it's so tough.
There is still Marv and Dye left available, though. They can get a lot done, but with 30 seconds to go, it's going to be one hell of an ask. Dye is inside of Attica. The lineup for the peaks is right there. There's going to be Marv actually swinging around, coming up close to secure that kill. Marv is the one with the diffusers. He's got to be the one pushing on in and trying to go for the plant. It looks like they're going to go all the way around, wrapping on into the dormitory, but the peak from the top of White Stairs from Flanksy is going to be there to get the kill onto Marv. Blizzard is going to get traded down, so it's just Flanksy left alone, and Dye is going to walk into another Capcan trap, and that could have been the round to give Swansea grand finals point, but the trap utility and meta coming through strong to save Warwick there.
That was two players being downed by a Capcan trap on that round, and on top of that, a Spat got picked up. I think by a spawn peak. Things not going well for Swansea on that round. Just slowly, the concentration slipping, and I think. I'm saying I think, but it's not I think, it's I know. Swansea have already used up their timeout after 2-1.
Yeah, so whatever happens from here on out, Swansea are just going to have to roll with it on the fly. They can't take that time to sit back and think things through. And if you're Warwick, you kind of want to take advantage of that. But at the same time, if things start going sideways badly enough for you, then you are going to have to use that timeout, but that will give both sides the advantage or an opportunity to talk things through and come up with a new plan of action.
Okay, then, as they Players start to slowly approach in towards the entire map. Think towards it, the roam that Warwick has employed again. A player all the way up in towards that attic position. And oh god, it's just like it's because it's such an expansive roam. You start to worry that the site may just be that little bit more open, do you know? And like we've not seen a proper direct take from either team on any of the maps. Like we've seen like direct pressure, like for instance opening up one of the, you'd say for instance like the walls or whatever. But every single time Swansea want to, like, if they do it direct, then they want to go and expand their control of the whole map.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very small map, so you can get away with,
Yeah.
you know, going for that complete map control. A lot of the time, you know, just sending a couple drones through the western side of the map will clear out a lot of that information for you. As you're going to see, once again, the majority of this push coming through from the big tower area. Not focusing or sort of sending anything over towards blue for the time being, but it's going to be Solaris to get the kill onto Matty. That was a peek coming through from the big tower stairs. And that's going to be the Twitch eliminated. There's no mirror being brought out this time around, but still valuable utility and a strong gunner taken off the board.
It seems as if, like, with the way that they've gained the control, I mean, there's nothing much in terms of blue or, I guess, big tower stairs either. And as I say that, Matthew begins to move down. I mean, this is the key point here. The fact that there needs to be a kind of a pinch, you know what I mean? It's like trying to pop a spot if you can. And I mean, realistically, in terms of popping, you need to pop at least 2 more heads to get even in terms of the man count. But unfortunately for them, the man count isn't forthcoming. Oh no, they're making it work. Just for a second, you think that Swansea are able to get things going, but one more round needed for Swansea. And, I mean, they're going to have to do it on a tertiary site.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Warwick are able to get their defense down here, then that is going to be map point going the way of Warwick, and things could end up going to either overtime or a map number 5. But in that round for me, there was again a slip up in the coordination coming through from Swansea. They had control of the electrical hatch. They did the flashes to burn the utility, and that's going to force the Jaeger away from Pillar in towards the little corner. But they didn't have anyone actually on the tower stairs at the time to go for the shots as the cross was taking place. And, like, if you just have the Ash there before you start throwing the flashes, you get a kill, you create that space, you give yourselves more of an opportunity in the round. Feels like Swansea are maybe feeling the pressure a bit, getting a little bit rushed and ahead of themselves, not taking that second to go, right, are we set up? Yes, let's go for it. And, you know, you see there that it really cost them the round.
Yeah, they need to just take that breather, deep breath, and make sure that everything is as it seems and what needs to be done. This is a very late setup by Blizzard, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like this at all, considering, you know, the amount of pressure that is usually put upon the big tower area, especially for this side of a take. I mean, you've only got one ADS supporting you, one shield to deny. I mean, this could be very easily dealt with. Even, I mean, sending one player below would be enough to deal with it. This is the type of scenario where this could be free up the rest of the map for the likes of Swansea. But that's if, buts and maybes. I mean, we could see a crazy play come out here, but I just want to kind of put a big question mark on this hold so far.
Now, when the Eber barrier is set up throughout the meeting, it is going to give lots of opportunities for players from Warwick to fall back and hide behind as the execute starts to build, as Blizzard's actually sitting on those lower tower stairs. That shotgun at close range combined with the smokes in the SMG-11 is going to give them a lot of opportunity to slow things down. Die is going to get slowed down by a Kiba that gets thrown out towards that single big tower doors. Blizzard's also protected by an ADS. He steps up really far forward though and loses a lot of HP to a nade. Doesn't get caught by the ADS as another Toxic Babe's going to be used. Die starts getting aggressive. Well, you could potentially see the opening kill here going the way of Swansea.
It's not only that. Somehow Blizzard has still survived, and Secret's even got a pick on towards Die. There's a player not still being sent below, but look at this. Look at how they went in towards the other part of the sites, and I mean Warwick are pulling them apart just as I put the big question marks on an exclamation mark in retort. It's all up to one player. Well, I was about to say one player left. No, maybe not. It's two players left. I mean, Matty, if you can break through here, find your pick. There's a player to your right. There's a player to your right. Oh, he's found it. And how has Dr. Chicken Stop found that pick? It's down to 2 versus 2. The diffuser's still not down. This is incredible stuff.
Bomb diffuser has been
Oh, goes too deep into the objective to try and go for a plant and then maybe rotate over towards dining to for the post-plant situation. Gets picked off by the player up above. We are going to see Matty just run on into meeting and go for the plant here. The players up above unable to impact this, but Flank C, if he gets a little aggy here, he could be able to get that kill, but instead it's going to be Spack able to secure one. The player who was downed inside of meeting dropped down the hatch and has bled out downstairs, meaning that it is just Solaris left alive. 1 versus 1. Matty's been able to reposition over towards the stairs to use them as an advantage. The angles all working in his favor. Solaris with so much ground to cover and not a lot of time to do it. Matty needs to be able to get into a good position. Solaris might actually be able to tuck himself around into the corner here, sledging the wall open, the time running down, and he's going to go for the kill and actually get it right before the timer expires. Matty is going to be able to secure the round for Swansea and put them on to match point, map point, series point, grand finals point, whatever you want to call it.
A lot of points, and there's a lot of points to be made in that round. One, the biggest question is, how is there a player not sent below? And number 2 is, how did Warwick let Swansea back into that round?
Yeah, I think by the time that it got down to that final 3 versus 2 situation, the players from Warwick were so far apart.
Yeah.
What I would have liked to have seen would have been the Jaeger over on tower stairs going over and assisting the player inside of the master bedroom, or potentially even running all the way through back over towards sort of the main lobby side of things, but we didn't see that happen, and it just made it into a series of one-on-one gunfights that Matthew was able to exploit.
Yeah. And again, moving towards the top floor, it's the last time that we will see a Warwick defense for at least hopefully a round, if you're a Warwick fan. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing another Warwick defense, but I think that the biggest part about this is the fact that Swansea have already won this site, and that's where you have that little bit of worry, that little bit of will they, won't they, you know what I mean? And now Warwick really need to hold fast, not fall for any mistakes. Swansea will have to check their doors and make sure there's no cap cans. But look at, I was about to say, I thought for a minute Solaris was on the attack.
Well, if he does good here, then maybe he could be in the next round, as we are sitting on either Swansea walking away with the whole thing right here, right now, or we go to overtime and potentially even a map number 5 after that. But for the time being, we're just going to have Swansea opening up into Attic in the same manner that we saw them do so before. They've got control over Armory. Haven't worked on into Master Bedroom just yet. Spack, the ace, is going to be doing all the droning for the time being before going for any sort of players. There is actually a player in secret all the way down the main lobby stairs. Could potentially be a bit of a problem later on.
5 versus 5 still without, I mean, the fact that there's been no real gunfights at the halfway mark does prove to you that Warwick walking with trepidation and Secret walking with a little bit of excitement, trying to engage towards the mainstays, and Matthew just playing flank watch, just making sure. Look at all the way that Swansea are cutting this site, cutting this whole map in half. Warwick really have to win at least 1 or 2 gunfights, and there's the first one lost. Unfortunately, Dai's able to win that out, but Secret putting the pressure into the back door does make things a little bit more worrying. Toxic Babe's coming out, and there's a lot of players actually training their way towards the big window. Toxic Babe already placed towards there, but the biggest push is in towards the other side of the map. The players looking to get in towards default, and yes, here it is. The players stuck, are having to get out through white, having to at least try and make an attempt, but that attempt will be futile. We're in post.
It's going to be Matty to get the first kill of that post plant and one step closer towards victory for Swansea. It's all left up to Flanksy and Blizzard to try and extend this game out even further, but the pressure coming in from the big window is going to be good for the down onto Flanksy. Blizzard, what a wonderful peek coming through afterwards. The SMG-11 at distance to secure that kill. Last Toxic Babe goes over towards the attic, rotate into the kids' dormitory, and there's no one there to be recipient of it. Spack's good for one. Marv, of course it's Marv to get the final kill. And that is going to be Swansea, your spring Amazon Esports UK and Ireland champion, walking away with a 7-5 victory. And, I mean, you have to say that they deserve it.
You really do. I mean, there was 2 of those maps where Swansea were able to get a 6-0 half. That's enough said. Third map, yeah, is so much more closer. It's Oregon. We expected that. We were asking Warwick to push us to a third map. It didn't happen. I mean, Border was close as well. At every opportunity, Swansea have came in and at least scored 7, which is crazy to say, Dino.
It absolutely is. I mean, it was an amazing finals series from start to finish. Obviously, that border going all the way to 15 rounds. And then after that, you saw sort of the experience and the domination that we've come to know from Swansea over these last few years. We were talking about it at the start of the show. Bit of a last dance for them. This is going to be the last time that a lot of these players are competing within the university scene. They're all, moving out, leaving university, going into the big wide world. And for them, I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it from Dai in the interview that we're going to have in just a few minutes. But it's going to be a very important win for them to have achieved here. And I mean, before we go to a quick break and then get Dai in for an interview, is there anything you'd like to say, Cara?
No, I'm just absolutely buzzing about everything that has happened. Buzzing to be able to share the desk with you, and I'm absolutely buzzing to get a chat with Dai.
Yeah, well, we will be talking to Dai in just a minute, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly with our winners interview. So stick around and thank you.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Champions interview. You've got myself, you've got Cairo, and you've, of course, got the captain of the Swansea team, Di, here with us. Di, come on, tell us, how are you feeling? You've just won the Spring 2023 split.
So, pretty relieved. I think we broke the curse more than anything. I forgot to hit the griddy as well for winning, but...
Mate, one of the questions that I've got to ask you, obviously you've hit the griddy now, but I mean, some people were calling you Dykel Jordan. There was a shout of listen, let me ask the question. It was Matty Pippin. Like, do you think you've lived up to those standards and on the UK and Ireland Amazon University Esports League?
Honestly, like, we were far from our best today. I think we showed glimpses of like how good we can be on Sky and Club, and like that's the standard we hold ourselves to. And like the first map, like, which wasn't good enough. The Oregon game, we got over the line, but still wasn't good enough. So like we know where we need to improve.
Going back to that border game, obviously that went the full distance, the 15 rounds. What was the mental state like as it starts getting into the overtime? Because obviously you 7-1 those guys on border last week, so you're going to be going into that map with a lot of confidence. And then were you getting a bit shaken by the time you get into rounds 13, 14, and 15?
Like, me personally, and I think like I try to reflect like how I feel to the whole team. Like, honestly, no, like we've got the experience. We know to play for the best of 5. We can lose a map, and then we're just here to win the best of 5. Like,
yeah, that's fair enough. And I mean, talking about the best of 5, we're obviously pushed in towards the kind of latter stages. Club goes well. I mean, it's a scoosh. With Skyscraper goes well after that. And then you head in towards Oregon, where things are now starting to get a little bit more heated. You're looking at staring down the barrel of potentially overtime. I mean, what was it that you feel as if like started to slack? I mean, Dino was talking about mental state there. Is it maybe like some basics or something like that started to slip for you guys?
100%. It's just like when you're losing rounds, you just have to focus on the fundamentals more than anything. And if you watch like the rounds back, our droning just wasn't good enough. So like we were getting flanked, and a lot of the time just not getting in from people that we should.
Well, I think we are going to be closing this out in just a few moments, Di. So is there anything you want to say to your competitors, your fans, other people at university? Is there anything you want to say to inspire the masses?
Yeah. So obviously we still have more tournaments to play in, and Swansea are still on for the last dance. I'll just hit the griddy again just to close it out.
Right,
Should I stand up and do it? I could stand up and do it.
Yes, go on.
It's a very narrow camera angle, so...
Yes!
Boys.
Unreal.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Di. Congratulations to yourself and to all of Swansea. It's been a very enjoyable season watching you guys play, and we wish you the best in all your future games and future endeavors. But to everyone watching at home, thank you very much for watching the Rainbow Six Siege Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for Spring 2023. And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Prime Video, Prime Student, and Omen for making this possible. We hope to see you all joining us back in the future for more University Siege action. So please keep posted and have a good one. Good night.